So what's going on, everybody? John out here with you. I'm going to minimize this window here because I know that it's doing the YouTube stuff. So I usually do this on Colorcast. It's on an iPhone app. This is the first time that I'm trying this on YouTube as well. I know I can't show the game or anything else on YouTube, but I'm going to be doing the live commentary and play-by-play as I usually would, and then the game story at the end. So I'll put the link when all that stuff is done. So let me give you the starting lineups as fast as I can here. So for the Vegas Golden Knights, Chandler Stevenson, Max Pacioretty, Mark Stone, Braden McNabb, and Shea Theodore. With second line is Jack Eichel, Matthias Janmark, Evgeny Dadonov, Ben Hutton, and Alex Pietrangelo. Third line is William Karlsson, Jonathan Marchessault, Nicolas Roy, and then Dylan Coghlan, Willem Carrier, and Michael Amadio. And Alec Martinez and Zach Whitecloud are the third defensive pairing. And here for the Dallas Stars, it sounds like this. The first line is still the same. Roope Hintz, Jason Robertson, Joe Pavelski. They've done a lot of the heavy lifting with Ryan Suter and Miro Heiskanen. Jimmy Benn, Michael Raffel, Taylor Sagan, Esa Lindell, and John Klingberg. Third line is Radek Faksa, Joel Caravana, and Luke Glendening, with Thomas Harley and Yanni Akampa. And then Vladimir Mestikov, Frederick Karlstrom, and Dennis Gurianov. I've not seen Karlstrom yet this year. So I'll put it to you like this. There's a long and short of it as far as playoff scenarios. So this first window should be in gold here, and these are the notes that I have that we can go through throughout the game. So right now, the Vegas Golden Knights are sitting fourth in the Pacific with 79 games played. So this is game 80 tonight. The record is 42-31-6 with 90 points. They're plus 17 goal differential. I'll tell you why. I put that in there in a minute. So with the Calgary Flames and the Edmonton Oilers, they've already clinched playoff spots. The Calgary Flames, 108 points. The Edmonton Oilers, 98 points. Flames won the division. Edmonton Oilers already clinched the playoff spot. And the Los Angeles Kings, for the most part, they can hold control of their own destiny with 80 games played. Everyone else has one extra one going on tonight. There's a lot of games tonight. So the Kings are inactive while the Flames play Nashville. That could be big for Dallas. And the Oilers play Pittsburgh. So the Kings probably control their own destiny. And for the Vegas Golden Knights, it's going to be Logan Thompson, the 25-year-old, in goal with a 9-5-1 record, 264 goals against, 917 save percentage. So there's a lot that we can talk about for Vegas, and I'm going to do some of that stuff during the broadcast itself, but I can leave it to you the long and short of it like this. If Dallas wins this game tonight, they are in the playoffs, and they will effectively eliminate the Golden Knights. If the Golden Knights somehow get an overtime loss, then they can still be alive, but the Golden Knights have to win this game in order for their playoff contention to still be alive. If Dallas wins tonight, the Golden Knights are eliminated, and the rest of all the playoffs are locked up. The East has been locked up for a while. The West has not been. So this is really do or die right now, essentially for both teams, but especially for the Golden Knights as well, because they only have 90 points. So for the Dallas Stars, as we've talked about, the Central has been very, very difficult. Again, you have the Colorado Avalanche, Minnesota Wild, and St. Louis Blues. Colorado Avalanche has the best record in the West. They've effectively locked that all up. So really the only shot left in the two wildcard spots for Nashville and Dallas is just the wildcard spot in particular. And Dallas, in that minor, is going to be Jake Ottinger, the 23-year-old, been very good this year. 28-15-1 and 256 goals against, so maybe that's a little high, and the 914 save percentage, they want to improve a little bit. But again, between all of the injuries, as we've talked about, if you followed any of this stuff with the Stars and things like that, you were thinking about maybe Braden Holtby, you were thinking about maybe Ben Bishop, you were thinking about Antoine Hudobin from a couple of years ago when you lost to the Tampa Bay Lightning, and he had that miracle run. Well, none of that stuff's available here for you right now. It's Scott Wedgwood, the backup goaltender from Arizona, who smartly flipped that for an extra pick, and it's Jake Ottinger. And that's pretty much what you have tonight. We'll get into more of this stuff as this game starts and we get some stoppages. So for those that don't know on YouTube, and again, this is my first time doing this, so we'll see if I get any kind of people to talk with. I will interact with you as much as possible when I can when there's commercial breaks. And we can try to just have fun with this and all that stuff during the broadcast, if that all sounds good to you.
The Golden Knights receive a bushel of goal support from their decor, third most in the league. Stars defensemen haven't been as deadly, sixth fewest with just 26 combined. Miro Heiskanen epitomizes the struggle, but also the potential. He opened the season in fine fashion, OT winner in the opener in New York. 3 goals the safety off pronto. Shea Theodore has scored 6 goals in just the past month, and 4 of the 6 are game winners. He can unleash a wicked clapper from distance or bake his own cookies, paralyzing with the puck on the attack. 14 goals and growing for him. The Stars are looking to clinch a playoff.
So if any of this stuff goes live or there's anyone talking, I will put that in there.
Opening face-off between Dallas and Vegas is coming up next.
Dallas Stars Hockey on Valley Sports is brought to you by Choctaw Casino and Resort Durant. Expansion now open. Stakes raised. By Baylor Scott and White Health. Changing healthcare for the better. And try Jack in the Box's popcorn chicken combos for $5.99. Get it classic, spicy, or 50-50.
Be ready for any arena. Take an all-new LX600.
I'm defeated. Feel mistreated. I'm so angry. I'm singing a song. 'Cause I'm paying so much for home internet and that's just wrong. I've got T-Mobile home internet. I feel happy. Great. Very happy. Look how much money I'm saving right now. Wait. There's no hidden fees. No price hikes. One cool world.
Introducing T-Mobile 5G home internet. Just $50 a month. It's that simple.
Don't just watch all the NBA playoff action. Be a part of FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. FanDuel makes it easy to bet on every matchup, every drop, even every shot. And you get your winnings as soon as the buzzer sounds. Make every playoff moment more. FanDuel Sportsbook. All customers getting no sweat, same game parlay each week of the NBA playoffs. Download FanDuel today.
You ever wonder why people are always on their phones? They're banking. The Bank of America. These three? They're banking. They're starting a new startup, social media for dogs or something. She's not banking. She's gaming. But Dad is staying on top of all the charges from her.
Matchup 7 months ago in Game 80, Jake Ottinger thrust into the #1 role with injuries to a trio of veterans. Biggest game of his young, already impressive career, and Logan Thompson gets the nod in this must-win game due to similar circumstances for the Golden Knights. Stars.
So what's going on, everybody? We're in the official broadcast right now between the Vegas Golden Knights and the Dallas Stars. We're at American Airlines Center right now. It's Logan Thompson in net for the Vegas Golden Knights, and it's Jake Ottinger on the other side here for Dallas. It's real simple here tonight for both teams. Dallas wins this game tonight. They are in the postseason and Vegas is eliminated. Vegas wins this game. They put pressure on the Dallas Stars for that final wild card spot, and we end up seeing what happens. So it's very interesting. They're showing Rick Bonus now. I'm doing the Valley Sports Dallas side of it. 44-30-5 record this season on a 4-game home point streak, 3-0-1. So for the Dallas Stars, I want to talk about it. 2-3-1 in the last 6 games, spanked by the Canucks, Oilers, and Flames. Overtime loss to the Wild, but they beat San Jose and Seattle in that recent stretch. Alec Martinez is going to chip this one down the zone. It goes back into the left wing side, and Dallas gets this in ever deeper as Logan Thompson's going to try to play this one to Alec Martinez. We'll get into contract situations here with Vegas as we go along as well. Martinez trying to get this one down there for Nicholas Waugh. Could already be a tripping call on Vegas very early. Yeah, there is a delayed call there as soon as Vegas touches, and now it is. This could be Nicholas Waugh already going to the box, as we're just not even under a minute away of the first period. And Nicholas Waugh got a trip in there on Joe Pa, and he's going to the box there. So the Dallas Stars power play, okay, look, for that first line between Robertson, Rope Hintz, and Joe Pavelski, they average almost, 45%? I've seen within the last couple weeks when I covered Dallas against Tampa Bay in that 1-0 game. Over 45% of that offense. And the Angels' Joe Pa, 36, 37 years old, as it gets one back to Klingberg. It's stuck out in front of Thompson, and it got redirected back out. Now it goes back to Klingberg as he made the first save. Klingberg and Rope Hintz play catch on the left wing side. Hintz gets it there from Joe Pavelski into the slot, stopped there by Thompson a couple times already. And Dallas with a couple shots on goal, and Vegas will clear this one down the ice. Dallas still has $1.30 left on their power play as we're just underway. They're 12th in the NHL right now, 22%. Pavelski tries to get a clean entry, but it's stuck in between his skate, and it goes all the way down the ice there to Jake Ottinger. The 23-year-old is going to play this one to John Klingberg, and he's going to get set now behind his own net. Klingberg now leaves this to Miro Heiskanen. Heiskanen to Dennis Gurianov as they got part of the second power play line out there with Tyler Seguin right now. Rope Hintz also on the boards, trying to get around at Chandler Stevenson. Ryan Suter will get this one back in toward the left wing side, picked up by Dennis Gurianov. And now back to Seguin. Sagan's in toward the blue line looking for a deflection. That was Heiskanen, and that was just wide. And now Thompson found the puck in behind the blue paint and gloved it and held on to a defensive zone draw. So this is another opportunity here for Dallas. Win the draw and put some pressure out in front. Joe Pavelski was out in front toward the left wing side of Thompson, and he just was able to make a pad save on the right side to just knock it away before it went across the goal mouth. Rope Hintz, 77 games played, 37 goals, 33 assists. Very heavy point duty for the really good two-way forward, but now he's really finding his offensive footing. Vegas rockets this thing all the way down the ice, and Ryan Suter is going to start once again behind him. Pavelski now gets it in deep. Dennis Gurianov, still on the left wing side, gets his pocket picked as Vegas will flip this one down the ice once again. So Dallas, a couple shots on the power play here, but nothing that Logan Thompson couldn't handle so far. Suter calmly plays this one to Tyler Seguin. Seguin looking for a left wing entry, and instead he'll just catapult this thing and behind the net. Dallas, power play time running out right now. Zach Whitecloud, part of the third line defense, is out there right now for Vegas trying to chip this one away, and the ref will finally just blow the whistle as it was just sitting there on the left side boards. And when there isn't enough action at times, it's when the whistle finally gets blown as Dennis Gurianov will look on here. Let me get this set up here as far as the YouTube side of things as well, just to try to make sure that all this stuff is still going. So Pete DeBoer, 5-9-1 in the last 15 road games here for Vegas. So we're talking about that a little bit throughout the broadcast, and that's not really exactly putting yourself on the right foot. As Dallas wins this draw, it goes just wide of Logan Thompson toward the left wing side, and Ben Hutton is trying to get this out, former Vancouver Canuck. Now Rope Hintz, able to play this one to Heiskanen, slap shot it around the boards. Hutton now, from Whitecloud, will get this one down. And now it's going to be a race. William Carrier now first to get to it. Tried to leave it there out toward the middle of the left face-off dot. And intercepted there by Dallas. Here comes Thomas Harley. Leaving this for Miro Heiskanen. Back to Harley. Shot goes wide of Thompson there. And that was a good give and go. But he just missed the net. Zach Whitecloud punished behind his own net where Logan Thompson was waiting. And now Dallas will get this one back in. But Hutton was the first one to get to it. Now he needs some help. Suter shot right on. Couple stops there for Thompson. And Vegas still trying to get this thing out right now. They do. Pacioretty gets this one deeper. Here comes Jake Ottinger. A little bit of traffic there behind the net from Vegas. But Dallas able to get away from this right now. Overskating the puck there. Here comes Dallas. And Mark Stone tries to leave this there for Vegas after a Dallas interception. Carlson. Stone took a high stick there, but he's still in front of the net trying to battle there against Tyler Seguin. Now Essa Lindell trying to get it to Foxa. It's stuck in between a multitude of skates all the way between these Vegas players. And now Logan Thompson will play this one to Vegas. Now Dallas will intercept in toward the slot area. Pass across. Thompson doesn't know where it is. And now it's in the left side of the blue line. Couple of cross checks there for Nicholas Waugh. Try to free this one up out in front. And now Dallas and Tyler Seguin will go back in the defensive side of things to kind of slow things down. Suter missed the pass, but there wasn't a Vegas player in the vicinity right now. We're down to 15 minutes left to go in the first period. It's been Dallas with 5 shots on goal and some good puck possession so far. They're 0 for 1 on their power play. Dallas now still with it as Rope hits. We'll just loft this one in. Now, Vladimir Mestikov, former Red Wing, plays it off the backhand, loses it, but Harley is there first with Yanni Akinpa on the third line defense to get this one down. He plays a pass there into Markstrom, but Shea Theodore will intercept this one. He's trying to get some space around Logan Thompson behind the cage, and now they get it into an open left wing side. Evgeny Dadonov now has it on the left wing, looking for a pass across to the forward, now playing defense. Now it's stuck in behind the net of Jake Ottinger. Vegas still with this thing as they work in toward the blue line. Slapshot gets ricocheted and stopped by the blocker of Ottinger. And now Vegas has this puck. Dallas wants a penalty called as one of the players got upended. Harley still getting worked over against the boards. And now Vegas was able to escape with this thing. I want to get a chance to look at Jack Eichel as well. I have not got a chance to see him so far in this game. As in the left wing side, tried to play it out in front. It was almost loose, but Ottinger was able to find it there. Harley lost it. Now Jamie Benn will get this on the left wing side. Try to play it forward to Dennis Gurianov. And now Vegas with Pietrangelo, a former St. Louis Blues that has that huge contract right now. We got a few things to talk about with that. Pietrangelo, wrist shot, stopped and held there by the glove of Jake Ottinger. So we get our first media stoppage right now. It's been all Dallas with the puck possession again. I'm going to say this many times throughout the broadcast. It's do or die right now for the Golden Knights. They need to win this game. If Dallas wins, they're out. So I'm going to go ahead in here with the YouTube side of things now that they got a commercial break here.
Accepted at 99% of places in the U.S.
Hey class, this is Lily.
When you see things differently, you can be the difference.
Welcome.
Capella University looks at education differently. Our FlexPath learning format helps you control the pace and cost of your master's degree. Make your difference with Capella University.
Running clocks a moment ago, bang bang. In tight, reflexive second save, great concentration. And kicks it aside. The turnover by the Stars coming into their own zone, and Mark Stone looking at his options. Went with the worst one really. And Pacioretty trailing it, Stevenson breaking to the net, and Jake Ottinger with a kick save and a beauty to keep that one out. So full goaltenders.
Getting back into the action here. We got 13:25 left to go in the first period. John Ott here with you from American Airlines Center. It is the Dallas Stars and the Vegas Golden Knights. The Vegas Golden Knights looking to make the playoffs for their 5th straight year since they've been born here as a franchise. But they've got to get this win tonight against the Dallas Stars, or at least get an overtime loss. If they lose, it's lights out. Stone from Carlson. Now Pacioretty will pick this one back up as Vegas still has us working on the left face-off dot, trying to play it behind the net and center it out in front of Ottinger, and it was missed. Shot for Shea Theodore goes just wide of the left post, and the puck goes up and out of play. So it remains 5 shots on goal for the Dallas Stars, 2 for the Vegas Golden Knights. So the Stars have outscored opponents 15-4 in the last 3 playoff clinching games. So that's really important in terms of having, I would say, just mass fortitude as far as all that is. But again, every team is different as far as that regard. Nicholas Waugh going to be opposed there from Foxa. Foxa wins the draw. On the defensive side of things, Vegas still trying to do some work. This is William Karlsson out there with Nicholas Waugh. Klingberg needs some help. He's getting double teamed there by some Vegas Golden Knights. Pietrangelo able to save it just before it goes across the blue line. And now Dallas has it stuck in their own offensive zone. They just can't get away from it now because Vegas is able to apply that pressure, and Karlsson put that one in. Ottinger needs some help. Puck almost got intercepted there, did by Pietrangelo. Now Nicholas Waugh plays it out in front. Karlsson couple whacks at it, but I think it was a good stick lift by John Klingberg to deny that opportunity as we're down to 12 minutes left to go in the first period. Vegas trying to buzz a little bit. Sagan trying to get this one out. Jamie Benn will just loft this one down the ice now after going through a couple of stick checks and whacks there. Karlsson taking a heavy hit. Goes to Suter. Played out in front. A nice play by Pietrangelo just to get in the way of that before that was a huge opportunity right against Logan Thompson. Karlsson now almost whacked it out in front out of midair. Thomas Harley got there just in time. Now Vladimir Mestikov looking on. Trying to skate in is Joe Pavelski. Vladimir Mestikov, and there was an offside entry there from Karlstrom before a stick was knocked out of a Vegas' player's hand there. So offside entry here for Dallas. All kinds of action so far on both sides of the coin right now. So let's get into a couple things real quick here for Vegas. I know there's a lot more intrigue as far as the Vegas side. So remember Robin Lehner, when he was picked up over Marc-Andre Fleury, he was 23-17-2 at 283 goals against and a .907 save percentage. He's done with the rest of the year because of a shoulder injury. So it's going to be Bonsoir and Thompson, two rookie goalies, if Vegas gets into the playoffs, to just try to get all that stuff done with a heavily loaded cap against them. Ben Hutton gets smashed around the left boards. We try to get it there to Stevenson, intercepted there by Dallas and Michael Raffle, former Flyer. Suter plays it out in front. Ryan Suter has been very, very good. A nice, stable defensive line one back pairing there with Miro Heiskanen. Suter now. We'll get that across there as Raffle will wire this one. It goes off of the Vegas Golden Knight back skate. Back to Hutton. Now Jack Eichel. Number 9's got it. Try to play it out in front. Ottinger, couple of saves. And now Klingberg has to spin around and try to find this thing and get it out in the neutral zone. Intercepted there by Vegas. Esa Lindell now. We'll play this one back from Klingberg. Now Lindell behind the cage of Ottinger. Working on his left wing side. Try to get a pass on front to Tyler Sagan. Logan Thompson casually playing this one around the left boards. Intercepted. Played out in front by Dallas as Klingberg got a piece of it. But Vegas and Chandler Stevenson now will kind of reset this one into the neutral zone. Try to get reached there by Mark Stone. He's a really good defensive two-way forward. As the shots are now 5-4 still in favor of Dallas. We're 9:55 left to go in the first period. Glad you can join me here for game number 80 between the Stars and the Golden Knights on the regular season. Game 80 for both teams. Held there by Hintz, and it was blocked between a host of Golden Knights. Nicholas Waugh now took a big hit there from Jamie Benn. Took another one there on the left side boards as Ben is doling out the punishment. And Harley now gets a stick check and gets this one down the ice. Logan Thompson almost misplayed it to his defensive pairing. But now Whitecloud will get this one back there with Pietrangelo. Pietrangelo rockets this one off the kick plate. And Dallas is just content to play this one back once again to Logan Thompson. Pietrangelo is going to try once again for the breakout. Shot on goal gets denied there by a good stick check in front of Dallas. Now this is Jack Eichel toward the blue line side. Stick handling now. Turns back. Still holding. Off the backhand. Leaves it to the blue line side. Shot was screened out in front. Ottinger couldn't find it, but it went just wide. Nice pass there from Heiskanen to Vladimir Mestikov. Nemestikov still fighting through. Heiskanen will get this one deeper now. And reset once again with Alec Martinez. Former Los Angeles Kings royalty. Game 7, game winner, Stanley Cup final, Alec Martinez. You gotta love that side of things. A lot of big moves here for Vegas. We'll see how that all pans out. Now Nicholas Waugh has this thing behind the net. Tries to play it around the kick plate. Vegas still trying to get on this thing. Almost gets upended with Stone. And now we get an offsides and a timeout. So 8:22 left to go here in the first period, still scoreless between the Golden Knights and the Stars.
The all-new LX600, ready for any arena.
Unlimited cashback match. Only from Discover.
Hey class, this is Lily.
When you see things differently, you can be the difference. Unlimited cashback match.
Okay, now I can actually finally see this thing. So if anyone wants to comment or anything else while this is going on, I guess another one is also doing a live stream between the Golden Knights and the Stars. You know, this Gravity is always pretty good at that. So I know I'm not the only one doing this, but this is the first time I've ever really tried to do this right now. So hopefully the sound and everything else goes through. I'll make sure to check it. Okay, now I can actually finally see this thing. So if anyone wants to comment or anything else while this is going on, I guess another one is.
Airline Center, Stars and Golden Knights scoreless. Our energizer long-lasting. The Vegas Golden Knights joined the NHL just 5 years ago. In their existence, the back-to-back Cup champs Tampa have played more playoff games than the Knights.
So Vegas, in their last 5 seasons, the only team that's played more playoff games than the Tampa Bay Lightning, or Vegas Golden Knights 66, Tampa Bay Lightning 69. So Vegas is used to postseason success or postseason games, maybe not as much success within the last few years because of all the moves and things that they've made. We can talk a little bit more of that during the first period ending as well. So back within the action, got about 8 minutes left to go right now as Luke Glendening tried to get this one out in front. Miro Heiskanen also trying to do some work. So it's the third line out right now for Dallas with the second line on defense there. Vegas trying to get this in through the neutral zone. They can't do it. And now Mark Stone, nice interception, waiting for some help on the right side of the face-off dot. Now he gets some there with William Carrier. Carrier being sandwiched there by 3 Dallas Stars. Now down to 7:30 left to go in the first period. Shot gets bounced up in the air. Vegas able to find this thing, and that was Zach Whitecloud. Plays this one to Mark Stone, who's still out there. Shot got stopped out in front before it hit Jake Ottinger, and now Michael Raffl has this thing. Takes a good cross-check there, and Shea Theodore now behind the net between Zach Whitecloud as well. Gets to the open forward there as Carrier, series of moves, leaves it in toward the left face-off dot, tries to go back, it bounces off the kick plate, try to get back on the blue line side, blast there by Theodore, stopped by the right pad of Ottinger, and now Joe Pavelski will get this one over now to Robertson. Slap shot, blocked, picked back up by Joe Pavelski, tried to play it out in front of the slot there and blocked by Whitecloud. Now it's in toward the left side and into the neutral zone as Jonathan Marchessault is trying to do some work, but John Klingberg was able to get that pass there from Jake Ottinger. Raffl with Hintz now. Hintz trying to do some work. It's loose there for Robertson a couple of times. Stopped there by Logan Thompson. Big time save there by the rookie netminder of the Vegas Golden Knights. I can't imagine how much pressure he would be under right now. Good hit there by Roope Hintz to try to draw that one loose. And now Jamie Benn has in the neutral zone. Now he lost it. Jake Ottinger is going to go behind the net to try to play this one to Klingberg. Klingberg now from Sagan. And it goes down the ice, but no icing as the referee waves it off. As we're down to 6 minutes left to go in the first period. John out here with you from American Airlines Center. Dallas Stars got a 7-6 advantage on the shots on goal, but now it's 7-7. But this is a big-time implication right now between do or die. Vegas gets a regulation loss here to Dallas. It's lights out here for Vegas, and Dallas would get their playoff spot. Pretty much the long and short of it here. Pacioretty now at the left face-off dot. It goes right behind the net now. Try to get played out in front by William Karlsson. And Dallas able to get this one down the ice as Ben Hutton will get this one down. It's in the neutral zone now. Stone is going to spin around a couple of times and leave it there for Whitecloud. Whitecloud needs some help because Michael Raffles all over him. That was a great forecheck there by Dallas. Able to get this one in. Not exactly a clean entry as there's two stars there to try to oppose that, but that's exactly what you want if you're Rick Bowness right now. You want to see attention to detail. Dallas has played pretty good right now. This has been a good first period for both of these teams. Good chances on both sides. We're at 7-7 shots on goal with 4:50 left. Vegas in the offensive zone right now, stuck against the blue line, is Jack Eichel still trying to hold off of the backhand. And now Vladimir Mestikov. It's 1-on-2. He needs some help. It's 1-on-4 now. Vladimir Mestikov still able to play this out in front, almost into the slot. And now Ben Hutton will get this one down. And Vegas is going to make some wholesale line changes here, as that was William Carrier is the only one still stayed out. Raffle with Gurianov. Now it goes back to the defensive pairing here for Dallas. They'll get set up there with Essa Lindell. Dennis Gurianov racing it on the left wing side. He still stayed on side somehow. I thought he was off there. And Alex Pietrangelo now gets this one down the ice. Good pass out there to Matt Amadio. Out in front! And he couldn't get it in front was Jonathan Marchessault to get it past Ottinger. He just caught the puck behind the net instead of right in front of the blue paint. Shot gets deflected. Picked up there by John Klingberg. Marchessault still doing some good stick check work. Klingberg once again off the kick plate, and now falls harmlessly into the defensive zone where it's awaiting the Vegas players there. It's Pietrangelo, and Karlsson got in the way of his own teammate, and now Shea Theodore will go behind the net of Logan Thompson, and Vegas is going to attempt to do this thing one more time, but the pass was too heavy, and Marchessault is going to go to the bench to get a change here. Now it's Ryan Suter, left wing side, Heiskanen trying to dump this one in now. Vladimir Mestikov still trying to do some work. Remember, Matthias Janmark, former Dallas Star, now on the Vegas Golden Knights. Theodore lofted. And where is it? It's all the way down for an icing. This is going to be in the Vegas defensive zone here, so this is a good opportunity here for the Stars, again, as we talk about, to get an offensive zone draw and make something happen. Roddick Fox is usually one of those guys, especially when it's late period faceoffs in the offensive zone, that can get the job done. We'll see if he can do that. On both sides right now, again, as I've talked about, it's been good action. And both Logan Thompson and Jake Ottinger have had to been very alert. This feels like the playoff game that it should be right now, with two teams that are desperate, as it should be right now. Fox will win this one. Suter from Heiskanen redirected. Logan Thompson, one save. And now Evgeny Dadonov, former Panther now with the Vegas Golden Knights, still getting all that money there from the Panthers. And remember, Vegas, they tried to trade him to the Ducks into the deadline without the papers and the no-trade clause, and they got busted, and he went back to Vegas. Vegas now has this thing as Dadonov able to hold, and now it's intercepted there by Raffle. Raffle now will get this one. Intercepted now by Whitecloud. Whitecloud being worked over a little bit on the left side boards there with Raffle and Mark Stone. Still trying to get hold in there by a moment there for Dallas, but couldn't do it. And now it goes back to Hutton. Hutton and now to Whitecloud. 2:05 left to go in the first period. John out here with you from American Airlines Center. It's the Vegas Golden Knights and the Dallas Stars right now. Good contest. Dallas got 8 shots on goal to Vegas's 7. Down to 2 minutes now. Whitecloud tries to get this one out, and it goes up and out of play. It's going to stay in the Vegas defensive zone. With $1:57 left to go in the first period. Come right back. We'll finish off the first period. We're still scoreless in this game. Oh.
He's off to a great start in his NHL career. The Stockholm, Sweden native was drafted in the 3rd round. It's his first year playing on NHL-sized ice. He told me the biggest adjustment was his play around the boards. He also tells me his top attribute, he feels strongly, is his speed. He said with a smile, he's fast. Guys, he's been doing pretty well in his 3rd NHL game.
Okay, we got about a minute 40 left to go here in the first period between the Stars and the Golden Knights. It is still scoreless. 8 shots on goal here for Dallas, 7 for the Vegas Golden Knights. Dallas wins the offensive zone draw, but Vegas able to try to get this one on their defensive zone. Almost do it. Dallas able to intercept there as Rope Hintz got a piece of it, and now Alex Pietrangelo, former St. Louis Blues, will get this one in between the player benches. We're going to have to do this again in the neutral zone side of things. So Scott Wedgwood looks on as he had to go ahead and dodge a puck. Again, he's the backup goalie for the Dallas Stars nowadays. You think about 3 years removed here for the Dallas Stars. You're talking about Braden Holtby last year. You're talking about Ben Bishop. You remember him from the Tampa Bay Lightning. He's not there anymore. Antoine Hudobin, that had one of the most Cinderella runs upon Cinderella runs that you could have, as the Lightning won in the Cup final against the Dallas Stars. All of those goalies are not there anymore. So now it's 23-year-old rookie Jake Ottinger in one of the biggest games of his life right now, one of the biggest games for both teams as far as the regular season is concerned. Dallas wins, they're in tonight. Vegas loses, they're out. That's the long and short of it right now, as we got about a minute 25 left to go. Vlad Nemestikov, former Red Wing, will get this one down the ice. And now Dallas trying to play this into their neutral zone. This is Rope Hintz. He gets this one just around the left side boards. And Alex Pietrangelo took a big hit there. Tyler Seguin also opposing off the stick check, able to steal it there momentarily. But it got rocketed back down the ice where Nicholas Waugh tries to play the body against Esa Lindell of the Dallas Stars. Now Lindell behind the cage of Jake Ottinger. Less than a minute left to go, and another big hit on the left side boards as Jamie Benn has been doling all sorts of punishment. Carrier trying to play it out front, they score! Golden Knights get the first goal of the game, and it looked like a hard one was played out in front. It was trying to be cross-passed, and it just went through the blue paint. And now Vegas, they desperately need this game right now. Luke Glendening got a big hit on there. This was William Carrier. He's on the left side faceoff dot. He plays it right through, trying to play that cross pass, and it just went through the blue paint of Jake Ottinger. And Vegas draws first blood in a game that they have to have right now. Again, if Vegas wins this game and Dallas loses this game, then it goes in the sense of it tightens that noose in that second wild card spot. And again, also, you want to make a reminder of the fact that the Calgary Flames, yes, they've already clinched, but they're playing the Nashville Predators right now. If Calgary beats Nashville and Vegas beats Dallas, that makes all sorts of intrigue right now, as we're in Game 80 of Game 82 of the regular season right now. So Vegas gets first blood there as William Carrier gets the goal harmlessly through the goal mouth. Now Dadonov, left wing side, tried to play this one to Nicholas Waugh. Dadonov still doing yeoman's work in there behind the net. Tried to play there in front of Eichel now. Eichel still in behind the cage where Wayne Gretzky always used to do his work. Now down to 4 seconds. Dallas, it looks like they're just going to get this one down the ice. That's how we're going to end the first period. Vegas has a 1-0 lead on the Dallas Stars thanks to William Carrier. When we come back, we're going to call second period action. If there's anyone else in the YouTube stream or anyone else on the other side of things as well for Colorcast, we can interact as it goes along. But if not, I will talk to you guys in the second period.
Up and down both ways. The Stars, though, are going to have to stop watching Jack Eichel handle the puck and start taking him out of the play.
What's going on, man?
2020 was everything we expected. It was fast.
I didn't know if you were calling the Flames and the Predators game, if you were doing some intermediate work at the same side of things. But again, I think we got some huge games, the both of us, on both sides in the sense. If you're not doing a game here, you're welcome to join me if you want. Let me see if I can do that. Yeah, it's oh, cool. If I still see you around and all that, we can definitely hang out and chat or whatever else. Or if there's anything else going on throughout the week, let me know. Really, the only day I can't do anything is like Friday. I'm busy all day on Friday, but I know we're getting close to the playoffs and things like that. So yeah, it'd be nice to be able to do a playoff game with you. I'd look real forward to that if that would happen. Both big games for both of us, really, in the sense of, again, Nashville. If Calgary, again, Calgary doesn't have to worry so much. They're already in there. We can talk about playoffs and positioning and points as much as you want to. But for the Preds, they lose this game, and Dallas loses this game as well. It's going to be all kinds of mad dash to the finish with 2 games left. So that'd be pretty cool. 4 Predators in the box right now. Holy cow. Is this game going on right now? I'm going to be able to flip over here. Let's see. I'll flip over here before I go back to this. Oh my goodness. 2 fights in the first and the second period is underway. Cool. I'll catch this here for a few minutes before I gotta flip back over here. And we're definitely gonna do some Calgary Flames playoff games. I know they don't all have to be Flames games, but I want you to enjoy it too. And I like watching Calgary. They're fun. It's a good ass team, man. We talked about it a couple times already. Everybody's worried about Colorado, and again, I understand that. I don't think any of us would disagree that they're probably the best team in the West, but Calgary is good enough to dethrone them, I would think. I think that they're definitely at least the second best team in the West. The West is definitely more open, but I just like the way they play. I respect all that stuff. They got some really good, like you said, between Majapani and Gaudreau and some good defense. On the other side, I like the Daryl Sutter coming back there. I love the acquisitions that they made against those former LA Kings back in there as well with Tyler Toffoli. I know that was a couple months ago again from all that stuff, but still, can't sleep on Calgary. I'd love to see that series, if that did happen, go 6-7 games. I think it'd be worth it. I don't want to see Colorado slaughter anybody. On the East, there's going to be so much intrigue as far as who does what, because everybody's just going to take turns beating the crap out of everybody in the Eastern Conference, so that's going to be really fun. Wow, there's a lot of fisticuffs as you're talking about on this side. Sportsnet's broadcast is always really good on these sides of things. I know on the Vegas, I think the Vegas side they've gotten better, but between the Dallas and Vegas broadcast, I'd always go with Razor Ray because he's like I don't know what kind of crazy dictionary that guy is, but he uses all kinds of lingo and terminology that I scratch my head at, but it makes me laugh. Yeah, so this is big time implications. So when I get the Bally Sports feed of it going back to the other side, I'll make sure to make note of these scores and reflect this stuff in the game story. There's a lot going on. So we're in intermission right now, so I'm flipping over, talking with one of my buddies here, Cooper Hopkins, former Colorcast legend as well. Hopefully we'll be able to get some hockey games and stuff going on during the playoffs. For the Vegas side of things, it was William Carrier with the only goal of the first period with Braden McNabb with the assist. Again, Dallas wins against Vegas. They're in today. Vegas loses. They're out. On this side of things, what's also interesting and has repercussions for the game that we're talking about, the one that I'm doing here, is Calgary right now has a 1-0 lead on the Nashville Predators. And as Cooper was talking about, there was a lot of fights and stuff in this game, so I'll make sure to catch the highlights and everything else as we're going around. I'm just flipping as we're going through the intermission here, but Calgary has a 1-0 lead, so the noose can be tightened a little more on Nashville in that sense of things, because really the only chance for Nashville in Dallas And there's difficult central division there between the Wild, the St. Louis Blues, and the Colorado Avalanche. All that stuff's pretty locked up, 1, 2, 3. So the only chance for Nashville and Dallas is the wild card. So if Calgary gets this win, that's going to be a huge blow to the Predators. Yeah. They are a walking hockey thesaurus, that's for sure. That's what you gotta love, though. I mean, I understand all the other sports. I did a couple NBA playoff games and this and that, but I had to jump on the game here today. Again, I know there's not going to be a lot of people listening and this and that. Like, you know how it goes with hockey games and all that, but I mean, it's intrigue right now between the teams that are playing each other, and I had to do it. 24 road wins this season for Daryl Sutter, with the Flames ties a club record. That doesn't really surprise me. The Flames have been about as good as they've been in a long, long time. You think about Mark Giordano and all that stuff back then when they played with TJ Brody, who's now, they're both on the Toronto Maple Leafs. And that was a very young Johnny Gaudreau back then at that point, too. Flip back over again. See what's going on in here. That's the first time I also try to put this on YouTube as well. I wasn't imagining getting anybody, but as my cousin was saying, you can get a lot more views and things like that if you put some search engine optimization, the SEO keywords and all that crap. I don't think I set all of that stuff up there correctly, although the live stream is up. But at least I'm going to stick with the colorcast thing and try to do some of this. I've been doing all my stories and things. I'll put this in there just in case anyone joins. Okay, so you got the link in there now, just in case anyone goes in here. Alright, man, cool. Sounds good. I'll talk to you. I was flipping through channels here as we're sitting in intermission, but again, this is do or die here for the Vegas Golden Knights. And I apologize if everybody doesn't want to hear that phrase. I'll be saying that a few times during the broadcast there, but it pretty much goes as this. If the Vegas Golden Knights, they win this game, they keep their season alive. If Dallas wins this game, it's lights out here for the Golden Knights, the first time in their 5 years in their franchise history, and that's really all there is to say about it. There is some long and short of what we can talk about if there is an overtime game and there's a point between both. But there's also one other thing of note. After this is done, it's an 82-game regular season, as everybody knows. This is going to be game 80. So there is a back-to-back for the Dallas Stars and the Vegas Golden Knights tomorrow. The Golden Knights, I think, are going to match up. I know I had this written down. Dallas is going to play Arizona, and the Golden Knights are going to play the Chicago Blackhawks. So it's two winnable games for both sides for guys that are toilet water as far as the standings. But again, when we talked about it, as far as Dallas and Vegas, and I'll go over some of this now if we have someone else in there on the YouTube side of thing as well. We'll go over some of this now as far as Vegas not doing what they need to do. So again, a little bit over the last month, and I'll go within the last, 4 games. So just of note, shutout 4-0 by the Jets. They went 1-1 against Vancouver Canucks, who are not making the playoffs. And then recently in their last 4, 1-2-1. Lost to the New Jersey Devils. Again, way out of the playoffs. That was last Monday. And then a shootout loss to the Sharks, 5-4, in the previous game. So these are games right now, because of those losses, Vegas put themselves in a situation playing the Stars today that they have to win this game. And again, I see people in the comments section there for Vegas, and I don't disagree with their acrimonious points here in the sense of every game matters. And that's what you always talk about. Again, every game does matter. But there are certain games you can't lose, or you can't find a way to just only get a point. If you have teams, and again, God forbid, I hate to always use the Red Wings in this situation. I mean, look at the Ottawa Senators. Within the last 3 times that they played the Red Wings, the Ottawa Senators have a worse record than the Red Wings. Both teams out of the playoffs. Ottawa Senators are forfeiting one of their better spots in the lottery just because they want to pimp slap the Detroit Red Wings and beat them down 3 straight times. They took care of business. Why do you have all these teams in the playoff bubble, whether it's pressure or anything else or what have you, all these other teams in the playoff bubble going in and not taking care of their business? It really makes you wonder why. And I want to talk about this too, and we'll talk about this a little bit during the broadcast for anyone else that's in here or anything else. But again, Robin Leonard, 23-17-2, he was the one that was chosen over Marc-Andre Fleury. He ended up with a 283 goals against and a 907 save percentage. Not great numbers before the shoulder injury. Peter DeBoer, again, who's the new coach because Gerard Gallant was fired after 3 seasons, said that Leonard's going to be back. He just needs a maintenance day. Did he not even know the guy had shoulder surgery? But he was still set up to be the backup goaltender. So you have Logan Thompson in this game. You have Laurent Brossoit, who are both rookies, essentially, that if Vegas gets into the postseason, they're going to have to rely on Thompson and Brossoit to get the job done. That's a lot different from Marc-Andre Fleury and Robin Leonard, isn't it? So again, we talked about it. Is this the first time that Vegas is going to miss the postseason in franchise history? It's going to be their 5th season already. Hard to believe. And for Vegas, again, the misfit line from year 1. You moved on from David Perron, James Neal, Marc-Andre Fleury, Nate Schmidt, and Alex Tuch. All exceptional, really good forwards, goaltenders, or defensemen. You traded Cody Glass. You traded Nick Suzuki. Nick Suzuki now playing very well with Cole Caulfield in Montreal. Look, I understand Montreal went to the Titanic as far as being first to worst, and the ship, just everything else was righted and exploded. But they've made a lot of moves in the sense of what they could have had, and they mortgaged their future because they were always looking for a big move. So let's talk about it here. You locked up Mark Stone, 29 years of age, makes $7 million. Alex Pietrangelo, Max Pacioretty, about $6 million, $5 million apiece. Jack Eichel, 25. Again, Buffalo Sabres, big holdover until the neck fusion surgery, if you want to call it that. $10 million for Eichel in the next few, so he's paid as the upper echelon of a player that they think that he can be. But again, you have to come back from injury. William Karlsson, not the same guy, $7 million. Shea Theodore, $5 million. Robin Leonard, $5 to $6 million. Evgeny Dadonov, $5 million this year, $6.5 next year, and comes off the books. Jonathan Marchessault, $5 million. Noting of next year, a couple of those guys may make a couple million less. Some of these guys are going to make way more. So Vegas already feeling that pressure on the salary cap spot. Whether or not you still feel the same about VGK that you used to from that misfit line and that love. And again, I think between Gary Bettman and the rest of everyone else in the organization, they looked at Vegas, they looked at the commercial destination, they looked at the gambling, and said everything else. I'm not saying this is right or wrong, but I feel that Seattle didn't get the same opportunity. And I also feel like these other GMs knew what the hell they were doing as far as protecting players. Maybe they got caught off guard a little bit as far as Vegas and everything else is considered. But it's fair to ask, did Vegas mortgage the future? How do the players look at all this? How do they feel about, Marc-Andre Fleury pretty much winning the Vezina and getting boned and telling him to go away? Telling Gerard Gallant go away after making the first postseason, making the finals, again losing to the Washington Capitals. But again, the Capitals had to do that. That was an expansion team. Can't blame Vegas for that. But, 49, 24, and 6 and 29 and 20. 94, 56, and 14 in the first 2 full seasons. What did he do wrong? You made the Cup final in year 1. You got fired in year 3. And he's thriving with the New York Rangers. It's unbelievable. Should be getting set here to start the second period very shortly here. So, trying to talk and do a little bit of everything here while we keep the YouTube video. I'm going to keep it going here. I know there might be a little bit of downtime and this and that, but we'll get as much as we can. I'm just typing some stuff in for the story, getting some notes in as well during the downtime. So second period action is alive and well now as we're just underway. John out here with you from American Airlines Center. It was the Vegas Golden Knights who scored first, courtesy of William Carrier, assisted by Braden McNabb late in the first period. Shots on goal are 8 aside as we're 19:30 left to go in the second period. Nice entry there for Sagan. Try to get this one there to Raffle. On the other side is Rick Bowness, who's trying to mix in some lines. And now Pacioretty gets punished. It goes in behind the net for Luke Glendening, so part of the third line out there right now. Raffle trying to get this one. Lindell needs some help. Klingberg gets this one aside there with Hakanpää. And now Carrier trying to fight off the backhand side of things. Gets momentarily tripped by his own player. Carrier keeps it alive. Shea Theodore, wrist shot, goes just to the left of Jake Ottinger. And now it's Radek Faksa, left board side. Lindell now. As it gets played out in front, it gets picked up back by the blue paint from Lindell as he got some help there from Ottinger. Nashville up 2-1 right now on Calgary. This has big implications in this game as far as the wild card spot. Nashville's got that first wild card spot. They get this win right now. This is going to put even more pressure on Dallas and Vegas for the result that both teams are looking for respectively, which you would think wins for their own side. Stuck in between the skates a couple of times there for Shea Theodore, and Jonathan Marchessault just looks on. Dallas intercept this thing. Nice play there by McNabb to get that out in front. Marchessault holding off the backhand toward the left faceoff dot, now working his way through the blue line. Petrangelo, extra pass across, Stone, and the shot gets stopped there by Jake Ottinger with 18:09 left to go in the second period. So good action on both sides for both teams right now, and I felt like I've said that a lot, but what you want to see in a game like this is playoff intensity on both sides. And that's what you're seeing right now. And I think that's ultimately what makes the game enjoyable, is both of these teams playing to the sense of urgency that you would want them to have. Vegas right now, 10-8 shot advantage right now, a 1-0 lead. Now, as a fan, you can feel that painstaking thought of, why couldn't my team kind of lock some of this stuff up here sooner? But it's just the way that it goes. Again, there's a long grind in the regular season as far as a sport like this. And Vegas has been absolutely decimated by injuries. But when we talk about some of the things in the intermission, as the shot goes wide there, Logan Thompson picked up there by Martinez. One of the other moves is what put Vegas in the position that they are right now, where they're trying to knock on the door to get in rather than already having a solid foot in the door with not being able to be pushed out. Martinez now. Nicholas Waugh. Able to get this one set. Shot gets blocked there by the Dallas defense, and Heiskanen will get this one back there. Martinez will play this one out there with Waugh. Spin and turn. Martinez still trying to do some work on the left side boards. William Karlsson now keeps this alive amongst the blue line. Goes back to Waugh. Waugh lost the stick handle now. Miro Heiskanen. And now Waugh trying to fight with him here a little bit. And now Heiskanen will get this one back down to Logan Thompson, who's going to settle this one back down to Alec Martinez. Again, former Los Angeles King, who I hold in high regard. Gotta love Alec Martinez and all those Kings players. Love the stuff in the 2010s part of it. Vladimir Mestikov. Nice spin around as he was able to shed a couple of players. Dallas off to the races now. Give back there from Robertson. Robertson trying to keep this thing alive. Theodore says no. Back by Dallas again is Vladimir Mestikov. Will get this one back toward the blue line side. Klingberg gets it blasted. Goes just wide across the kick plate. Dallas now working their way around the net. Vladimir Mestikov hit a couple times, bumped, sandwiched there by Hutton. Goes back to Klingberg almost momentarily. Intercepted there by Robertson. Now it finds Klingberg on the left wing side. Shot gets deflected out in front. Picked back up by Vegas. And now Vegas get this one in the neutral zone. Nice move there by Eichel off the toe drag. Working his way behind the net. Still holding off the left face-off dot. Now working his way in toward the blue line. Still got a lot in the backhand. Great pass out in front. But Mark Stone couldn't get the shot off. I think Oettinger would have been dead to rights, but he just couldn't find that shot there. Shea Theodore now gets this one down across the blue line. Vegas will chip and chase. This is Pacioretty with Lindell and Foxa now on the left side boards being held. A little bit of a Klondike bar there between the white and green jerseys there, but again, that'd be a mint green Klondike if they make those right now. This is Hakanpää. Gets this one out there for Sagan as it got deflected. It goes just wide. And now Stone trying to do some extra work, still trying to fight through a couple of stick checks, intercepted there by Dallas. Klingberg now loses it. Theodore gets a piece. And Vegas going to try to reset this thing with William Karlsson. Doing some extra moves. Gets in now is Chandler Stevenson. Oettinger almost loses it there to Stevenson. And now Heiskanen will get this one back to Klingberg. Martinez still in his face. Stolen there. Dallas has his set back up. Gets it back as they're trying to enter there. Heiskanen, nice backhand move. Robertson gets it in deeper. Heiskanen on his jets. And behind the net of Logan Thompson there. Goes around the boards there to Stone. Stone has it now. Doing some extra. Try to get in there. Holding up the backhand. Nice move. And maybe an offside entry. Maybe a penalty. 14:38 left to go in the second period. Don't say anything yet. It is 1-0 in favor of the Vegas Golden Knights. They are 42-31-6. The Dallas Stars are 44-30-5. It is just a few points, 3 points separating the two teams. Vegas on the outside looking in as far as the playoffs are concerned. Dallas right now, as it stands, are in the second wildcard spot. This game changes a lot of things. Dallas can clinch a playoff berth with a regulation win, and if Vegas loses, they're out. Dallas gets a neutral zone draw. It goes back to John Klingberg. Has to go all the way back there as Thomas Harley, so it's part of the second line and third line defense out there right now for Dallas. Gurianov tried to chip this one out in front of the Bud Light sign. Gurianov now plays it with a hand pass. Goes to Zach Whitecloud, and from Hutton, and now it goes down the ice, and now this will be an icing. It's going to be a defensive zone draw here for Vegas. A good opportunity for Dallas to get things moving right now. So we talked about it a little bit in the first intermission. Well, what's going on here with Dallas? Again, and 2-3-1 in their last 6. They lost to the Canucks, Oilers, and Flames. Overtime loss to the Wild. They were able to beat San Jose and Seattle. So you get those wins. But they had 3 games in hand 2 weeks ago. This is a 3-on-2 developing here for Vegas. Pass across right on front, and Ottinger found it just before it went to Pacioretty, and he grabbed it and held on to it. So that was a big-time opportunity for Vegas that got diverted by alert hands. There was a face-off win that could have been clean, but one of the Dallas defenders fell down a couple times, and as Harley fell down and the pass went across there from Evgeny Dadonov, it found Jake Ottinger's glove as he put it right in front of his face and probably stopped a goal there. So Carlson now gets the draw. It's a clean win, but it goes in behind the net now where Dallas is able to get to it, and Vegas will intercept this thing in the neutral zone. Vegas still doing some work. Nice move there for Jamie Benn and Thompson there. They're going to get a stoppage here. That was Rope Hintz. A couple extra moves there to get a good shot on goal against Thompson. Come right back. 13:52 in the second. Vegas up 1-0 against the Stars.
Verizon is going ultra, and now you can too. The offer you just can't miss. For a limited time, get a 5G phone on us. With no trade required. What's not to love? Verizon is going ultra.
So as we talked about, and I'll say this a little bit here as we get a stoppage over the YouTube side of things, you had just 3 weeks ago, if you were Dallas, 3 games in hand of Vegas. And you definitely had more points. You definitely had control of your own destiny, and they've not been playing well. Vegas, to their credit, may be playing marginally better, if you want to say it that way. But they're in the spot right now where this game is huge. And when all the pressure's on Dallas, that's what I always hear the hockey guy from YouTube say, but when all the pressure's in there on Dallas in the sense of things, is the bubble going to burst, or are they going to rise to adversity here? And right now, I think they're playing pretty well, to be honest with you, but Vegas has a 1-0 lead as we're midway through, almost midway through the second period.
Progressive can't save you from becoming your parents, but we can't save you money when you buy a home or more of us. No one will make movies here.
Stanley Cup playoffs begin Monday. Oh man, it's so nice. Oh, I'm so happy. Again, I've done a few NBA playoff games. Don't get me wrong, I love the NBA playoffs, but for NHL playoffs, guys, if you haven't watched hockey or things like that, watch the playoffs. There's nothing like the NHL playoffs as far as how different it becomes, how much more physical it is, how much these guys have the intensity in their eyes. It's totally different. Totally different. Again, the NBA again is different in the sense of isolation with your stars. I get that, but for the NHL playoffs, my goodness. So Vegas wins it clean. It was Chandler Stevenson now to Braden McNabb. Vegas still holding on to this 1-0 lead, but they have iced it. 12 shots to 10. Vegas up 1-0 right now. On the Bally Sports side of things, they're talking about Astros and Rangers. Again, that's a big deal as far as Nolan Ryan now also being a part from the last few years of the Houston Astros, no longer Texas Rangers, because they didn't like the way things were going here. But they do have Corey Seager and Marcus Semien. Shot goes wide there for Robertson. Vegas trying to get on this thing. Got about 13:30 left to go here in the second stanza. 12 shots to 10 in favor of Vegas. Scoreboard also in favor of Vegas. Stevenson now tries to get this back pass across. It goes to no one in particular, but Theodore was able to save this thing into the neutral zone. Theodore now has to get this one dumped down the ice. Goes around the cage of Ottinger. Picked back up by McNabb. And now behind the net, Chandler Stevenson. Chandler Stevenson been busy so far on this long shift. I imagine he's going to have his hands on his knees at this point. Theodore shot gets blocked there by a host of Victory Green Dallas Stars there. The Vegas in the white and gold and red. Shot gets blocked there by Vegas, as that was Pavelski that tried to get a piece of it. Now behind the net, Hakanpää. all the way down. Slap shot blocked again by Vegas out in front. Dallas dangerous and buzzing. Couple times. Kick saved by Logan Thompson. Not once but twice. And now Jack Eichel behind the net of Tyler Seguin. Line change, was able to get that pass out free. Nice play ahead by Vegas. Alec Martinez keeping this alive on the left faceoff dot. He's going to go back on his other side. Loose out in front for Ottinger. And Dallas was able to get there in front of Ottinger to protect it. Pass across there. Seguin plays it out. Logan Thompson casually will kick that one with the right pad aside. And Vegas can settle things down once again. The Mavs-Jazz series, again, that's now 3 games to 2. That's going to resume Thursday at 8 p.m. on Bally Sports as far as the local side of things, because the local side of things, anyone else on Bally Sports or wherever you're now, between Sportsnet or any other things, Nesson, all of the local teams can get the first round coverage. But everybody else, you should be able to find that on TNT or ESPN, or maybe even NBA TV as well. So I'll have to double check that as well. So Logan Thompson, within the last 8 starts, 6-1-1 record, 230 goals against, a 924 save percentage. He's been good over his last 8, considering the 25-year-old has had to carry the weight of it right now as Vegas is trying to get in, and that's just what it is right now because Vegas put themselves in this fight. Centering feed goes wide there as Marchessault had a chance there from Carlson, double clutch there and miss there for the defense of Vegas, and it goes down there as Ben Hutton will play this one to Zach Whitecloud. Whitecloud can get it out toward the left side. Nicholas Waugh needs some help. Jonathan Marchessault now gets us across the red line, still holding off the backhand, just enough space there for William Karlsson to get that one down. Marchessault plays this one more time, but it's intercepted here by Dallas. Pavelski needs some help. Nicholas Waugh tried to play this one out in front, but Dallas was able to alertly block these shots and get it out in front. This has been a quick-moving period right now, and a very defensive intensity of a type period right now that you would expect. It's 14 shots on goal right now for Vegas to 13 for the Dallas Stars. Vegas has a 1-0 goal advantage. Whitecloud getting hit there by Michael Raffl, part of the third line. Raffl able to almost pry it loose. Whitecloud with Hutton, try to get a piece of it. Now it gets lost in the center ice, picked back up by Klingberg. Klingberg going to try to blast this thing off the kick plate. Raffl needs some help toward the Comerica Bank sign, the left wing side of it. He can't get to it. Now, Rope Hintz still trying to do some work in there. Now Joe Pavelski and Robertson, the first line, is out there for Dallas right now. Rope Hintz buzzing in toward the blue paint. And now Vegas able to get this one back out there with Miro Heiskanen. Heiskanen now. It's lost. Picked up by Pavelski. Shot gets deflected and up and off the boards. Just eludes Hintz. Suter trying to be the first one on it. Stolen by Pavelski. Tried to save off the backhand. Picked up now by Marchessault. And now Nicholas Waugh takes a big hit, and one of the Dallas players goes back into the bench. Robertson holding left side of the faceoff dot. Played in front by Pavelski. It goes just wide of the goal mouth. Suter now. Heiskanen. Robertson left wing side. Tried to cross pass it. It got blocked there by one of the Golden Knights' sticks in the air. Still on the blue line side of things toward the left faceoff dot. Shot gets deflected. It goes around the boards. It's not up and out of play. Still alive here. Matthias Janmark, former Dallas Star. Chandler Stevenson turning on the Jets. Going off the backhand side of things. Held off there nicely by a pair of Dallas Stars. And now we're down to less than the 10-minute mark. 9:15 left to go in the second period. John Underwood from American Airlines Center. It's 1-0 Vegas on Dallas right now. Carrier plays it. Theodore. No. Ottinger able to get a stick on it, move it aside. Not a lot of shots here in this second period. Not a lot of work here for these goaltenders. A lot of neutral zone battles. A lot of defensive intensity when it gets into the either team's offensive zone. Pavelski. Now Vlad Nemestikov. He can't get to it. Radek Faksa also alert. Tried to get stolen there. It almost did. Dallas, there was all kinds of contact in front. Logan Thompson was able to find it though. Klingberg now. Jamie Benn, nice pass. Vlad Nemestikov tried to get it back to Benn. Intercepted there by a host of Golden Knights. But it got stuck in between Marchessault and Stevenson. Here comes Ben. Nice play and delay there, but he had no help. Ben was still first off of that back check. Now to Klingberg. Down to 8:15 left to go in the second period. Klingberg, pass across. Robertson. Still Foxa getting smoked on the left side boards. Theodore now. Extra pass. Carlson. Maybe a one-on-one if he wants it. Holding up the backhand side. Now it's on the left side boards behind the cage of Ottinger. Carlson tries to play this on the blue line. Ben Hutton able to get this before it crosses the blue line. Carlson stuck in between his skates, still holding. Shot tried to get deflected there by Carrier. Got deflected by a bunch of Dallas Stars. He wanted to get that one on Ottinger through traffic, but he couldn't do it. Alex Pietrangelo now. 2. Lynn Carrier. Carrier, left circle face-off dot. Holding off the backhand. Ben Hutton now with the pass. To Carrier. Got deflected. Foxa with a nice active stick there. Goes to Evgeny Dadonov. They're going to try on the right wing side for the Vegas Golden Knights, but they still can't get in. Dallas holding strong on the neutral zone. Jack Eichel taking his time. Plays this one to Pietrangelo. Pietrangelo will loft it. Past. Miro Heiskanen. Goes in behind the net. Now Essa Lindell will help Jake Ottinger try to get this one in behind the cage. Raffle gets this one ever deeper now as it goes in toward the right side boards. Luke Glendening trying to get in off the forecheck here for Dallas. Vegas still up 1-0 right now. There's about 6:50 left to go in the second stanza. Quick game right now. Not a lot of action as far as shots, but not a lot of stoppages. It's what you gotta love as an announcer right now. This is Thomas Harley. Third line defense done. Yanni Hakanpää. They play catch. Nice entry here for Dallas. Couple extra moves. Try to play it off a backhand pass there for Raffle. And now Pavelski. Robertson holding off the backhand. Scores! Jason Robertson ties the game at 1. Stars tie the game. In a game that means everything right now as far as if Dallas wins this thing. It's over for Vegas. Jason Robertson, nice off the backhand. Plays it to Pavelski. Gets it back off the left faceoff dot. Pavelski there. Robertson series of moves using a Pavelski screen. And what a goal there for Robertson as he undressed the defender off the backhand and made a great wrist shot toward the left side corner. And this game is tied at 1. Jason Robertson with a highlight reel move. And the first line, as we talked about in the month of April, 14 games, 8 goals, 7 assists, 15 points. This first line almost equates for 50% of the action for the goals and points totals. It's around the 40% mark, above 40, but you can say almost 50 if you want to lie a little bit just to make yourself sound better. But 1-1 is still your score. It's 15-14 now with the shots on goal as Jason Robertson has tied the game here for Dallas. This is Wah. Stuck in the neutral zone. The American Airlines Center fans are alive here. They know what's at stake right now. This should be a packed out center. Anyone else that's just enjoying this game tonight here in Dallas, I mean, this is what you want right now in a regular season game. You win and you're in. That's pretty much it. And for Vegas, I mean, if they don't win this game, they pretty much have to have an overtime result. Because if they lose, it's over for Vegas, no matter what. Nicholas Waugh and Jake Ottinger will play this off of a Carrier pass and just hold. 5:44 left to go in the second period. We finally get a stoppage. Fast-moving second period. Jason Robertson has tied this game at 1 for Dallas with all sorts of intrigue. Plenty of game left to go, though. Come right back.
What drove us to create the most rugged and Honda vehicles yet? It's the courage to challenge convention. The will to succeed. And the joy of conquering the toughest trails. Rise to the challenge. A Honda Pilot and all-new Passport Trail Sport.
Okay, this is a freezer, not a time capsule. Sometimes
Well, anyone on the YouTube side, I can't imagine there's too many people in here, but anyone on the YouTube side, any questions as we go along, you let me know. I hope you're enjoying it so far. I know there's a couple other people actually live streaming this game as well, as I would imagine, but I'd figure I would give it a try because I'm going to get more chances to look at it through some optimization and things like that. Again, I have to do a better job as far as getting all that stuff set up, but again, this is what I will do as far as having the live video feed or notes or a box score or anything else that we can have up at the same time. So if I do this side, let's see if I do this side here. So let's see if I can go. I would have to change something else. So we'll figure that out next time as well, as far as the other windows, because you can't do multiple windows. So 5:44 left to go in the second period. We are just knotted at 1. If you're just joining me, Jason Robertson with his 39th of the year, assisted by Rope Hintz and Thomas Harley. So this game is tied at 1. If you're just joining me, Bardic Fox has got it behind the net right now. Dallas wins. They're in. Vegas loses. They're out. That's pretty much the long and short of it. There's other playoff implications that we can talk about as we go along going forward. If I see any of these other scores go across the Bally Sports scoreboard here on the Dallas feed, I will make note of that as well, because the Nashville Predators are playing the Calgary Flames, so that is a big implication game for both of these teams, because Nashville and Dallas, the only way they're getting in right now is the wild card spot. Everything else in the West is locked up, and everything in the East, as far as everything else but playoff positioning, but everything else in the East is already locked up. It's been locked up. Face-off is won, and the shot gets blocked there by the Dallas Stars. Now Vegas, who just got scored upon, have a chance to try to restart the engines here. They need to do this right now. William Karlsson loses it, and now this is Robertson again, your goal scorer. Robertson loses it, goes back to the side of Joe Pavelski, and Joe Pavelski will get this one in deeper. Alec Martinez cannot get to it first. It's loose in front, and oh my goodness, did Robertson almost have two as it just went toward the right side of the boards with the assistance of Rope Hintz. Now it goes across the goal mouth once again one more time toward the right side. Dallas buzzing, Robertson feeling himself a little bit here with a series of moves. Joe Pavelski takes a big hit, still with the Dallas Stars, and now Vegas finally gets a chance to settle this thing down. Patches now has a piece of it, and it goes just offsides as one of the other Golden Knights entered too quickly. And because we didn't have enough media timeouts in that second period, we finally get one now with the stoppage there. 4:19 left in the second, tied at 1. So I want to remind everybody too, if you want to follow along, again, if you're not really a hockey fan of things like this, but if you do have ESPN Plus, I do encourage you, I will say this, between both sides and both feeds, again, everyone has their preferences. The Sports Chicago, Comcast Sports Chicago, between Vegas and Chicago, stick with that. They got a new broadcast announcer there. Tell me how he sounds. On the other hand, I think he's only like 24, 25 years old. So they're going in a totally different direction now with Chicago, with all the other stuff with the investigations and all that. They're starting fresh and getting a brand new image. So Vegas and Chicago, catch the Blackhawks broadcast and how that sounds. And the other side of it, again, Dallas, I will say this, and I agree with the hockey guy on YouTube, and this is not just because I know somebody from Dallas and all that, but between Razor Ray and now the other play-by-play guy that they got in the last couple of years, I don't really know his name also. I know Razor Ray used to do it, but now he's back to the colors side of it. But Dallas honestly has one of the most entertaining part of the broadcast. They're always very good at that. So again, I know everybody's going to be watching the Dallas Mavericks on Thursday, But don't sleep on this thing, because if the Stars don't win this game, again, there's going to be a lot of intrigue in that Arizona-Dallas game. They're both at 8:30 Eastern. So most wins in the first 75 games with the team in franchise history. This is interesting. So back in the action right now, most wins within the first 75 games. Ed Belfour had 46 for Dallas. Jake Ottinger's got 39. So Jake Ottinger, the 23-year-old, is in really good company right now. He's in the midst of a game right now between two teams that really need the points. It is 1-1 your score. 16 shots on goal for the Vegas Golden Knights, 14 shots on goal for the Dallas Stars. We're in Dallas right now. John on here with you from American Airlines Center. It is 1-1 in the contest. All sorts of intrigue right now, but the long and short of it is this. Dallas gets this win against Vegas, they're in. If Vegas loses, they're out. Pretty much plain and simple. We can get into the overtime situations and all of that. Probably a little bit more toward the second intermission, because there are some implications there. Both teams will split. And as far as what happens between Calgary and Nashville today. So face-off is one clean there by Vegas. They want to reset once again after being scored upon by a highlight reel goal between Jason Robertson. This is Vegas now back with it. This is Alex Pietrangelo now, left wing side. Max Pacioretty will get this in deeper. Michael Raffl has to get a couple cross checks there for Mark Stone. It's stuck on the left side boards now. Klingberg gets this one now to Luke Glendening, former Red Wing. Gets this one around the kick plate. Glendening now first to it, try to chip it there to Raffl, but Raffl just overskated this thing, which allowed Pacioretty to get to it. Now Chandler Stevenson, who's spending his time on the first line nowadays, which is hard to believe because William Karlsson was at that point, but William Karlsson's fallen all the way down to line 3. Thomas Harley now already has an assist. Looked unsure if it was Logan Thompson as it almost went in between the 5-hole. Dallas now gets this back as this is Gurianov. Gurianov now back on the other side. Hakanpää is waiting back there on defense, and now Gurianov will get this here from Hakanpää. And they're going to try one more time there with Harley. Tyler Seguin trying to get to this, but Ben Hutton will hit this around the kick plate. Almost gets stolen there by Dallas, and now it does, but the shot from Seguin goes just wide off a stick. Picked back up by Vegas once again. Dallas having the better work here in the second period so far, toward the latter end of it at least. Now Logan Thompson is going to play this one to Hutton, and Hutton's going to try to settle it down. He's still working his way toward the left side of the red line, and he didn't dump it in before it crossed, and that's going to be an icing here against the Golden Knights. So Dallas will have a chance for an offensive zone draw and some other intrigue to work with here. Nice shot block in front. I said this a lot for both of these teams so far between watching this game. Both these teams are using very good offensive intensity. And you know what? It makes me, as I'm looking at Tyler Seguin right now on the Bally Sports side of things here for Dallas, when you think about Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin, you always thought about the heavy lifting on that, especially when Seguin won that cup with the Boston Bruins, coming over, a nice young star, scoring a lot of goals. It hasn't really happened all that way. Jason Robertson, their high pick, has flourished. The ageless Joe Pavelski has flourished. Roope Hintz has found himself to be one of the best offensive players, but the depth that you have, in between having Seguin and Benn on the second or third line, I think Dallas has a lot of chance, as much as any. It just really falls on, are they going to play some good defense, and can Jake Ottinger do well enough? And I really do believe that, as the shot gets deflected there from Heiskanen and stopped by Logan Thompson. But I really do believe that. I'm not just saying that. Even though Dallas is a wild card team, again, you know, nobody's going to want to play against the Colorado Avalanche and things like that. And if Dallas were to play against Colorado in that first line being a wild card spot, I wouldn't necessarily give them the advantage. But I mean, there really isn't any other team that I think can beat Colorado besides Calgary, really. But if Dallas was really matching up against anybody else, you know, let's say like a St. Louis or a Minnesota or anything else in that time period, look, I know these guys haven't played between Vegas and Dallas the greatest regular season games toward the end of the year, and that's why they're in the position where they are right now as a 2-on-1's developing. Roope Hintz in a couple shots at it, and Logan Thompson made 2 saves as he got the deflection and the other piece of it before it went 5-hole. But to finish my point there, Dallas, I think with the depth in there, in the sense of like we talk about now, Tyler Seguin and Ben on the third line, Gurianov on a third line, still having Radulov on a third or fourth line. having some good defensemen in there between Klingberg and Heiskanen, getting Ryan Suter, remember a long time ago from the Nashville Predators now. Again, I know he's getting long in the tooth, being 35 years old and things like that, but you're looking for a number one steady defenseman. It's still going to be Ryan Suter, at least for now, and probably for next year as well. The pair with Heiskanen, this team can be good. It's just whether or not, again, goaltending is going to play a large part of it. And it's not a cliche answer. There's a lot of teams with some interesting goaltending as far as being young. And if you're looking at Vegas, Logan Thompson, you're looking at Bonsoir, 25, 24 years of age, and you're going on the other side for Jake Ottinger, 23 years of age. Do you want that starting a playoff series? But that's what you have right now. Vegas, and off the entry, Eichel, backhand, and it got stopped there by Ottinger. He played it there in front, and Dallas kind of froze there momentarily as the puck got a little loose, but Eichel didn't get a chance to score there. He had a chance to stick handle a couple of times, but it got intercepted. And Nemestikov gets his shot blocked. We're almost down to a minute now. Nemestikov got it at the left faceoff dot. Klingberg plays this one to Ryan Suter now. Suter tries to get this one pinball into the right faceoff dot now. Look, Martinez trying to look in behind the net. We're down to a minute left to go here in the second period between American Airlines Center. It's 1-1 right now. Dallas has an 18-17 shot advantage, but the score is tied at 1. Vegas trying to get this out of their defensive zone, and now the whistle is going to be blown. This could be a penalty. We're going to have to see who this is going to be on. I'm trying to go on my ESPN box score to get you the official one right here. So this is a penalty, and I want to see who this is going to be called on. They're showing Jack Eichel's highlights here. When this does get reverted, I will relay it to you. But somebody is going to the box. There's going to be a power play here, and again, there is enough time where if nobody scores, it's going to carry over into the third period with a fresh sheet of ice. And I think this is going to be Glenn Denning for high sticking on Alex Pietrangelo. You got a hook and hold there. That is Luke Glenn Denning going to the box. 2 minutes there for high sticking. So Vegas has a chance to go to their first power play of the game. It was just the second power play of the contest in its entirety. Joe Pavelski, former wing and centerman now, he wins it clean. So that's a great defensive zone draw there for Dallas as Lindholm will just slowly rattle this one around the boards, and Logan Thompson will play this one to Theodore. Now Eichel in his own end, still trying to work now across the Dallas Stars logo. Tries to leave it there toward the blue line side. Pietrangelo, Pacioretty, Eichel now on the left face-off dot, working his way behind the net. Gives it to Pietrangelo. Slap pass out in front. Stopped by Ottinger a couple of times. It gets loose to Pietrangelo at the blue line. They have it on the left wing side. Try to cross pass it, and this is just eluded Mark Stone. Couple stick handles helped in there by Eichel. Back to Eichel from Pietrangelo. Lets it go. Slap pass across. It's loose. Vegas scores! 2 seconds left in the period. Vegas scores on the power play. What a backbreaker there for Dallas and Luke Glendening. But this could be Alex Pietrangelo's goal. That was some great puck movement there by Vegas to get this one down. This was Mark Stone. Ottinger loose. He's down and out of the goal crease. He made the first save with his right pad, but he was nowhere. It was Gilligan's Island. He was nowhere to be found in front of that net. Lindell trying to stop it and dive as it went across the goal crease. He couldn't do it. And the Golden Knights take a 2-1 lead with 3 seconds left to go in the second period. So, my goodness, what a time for a goal here for the Golden Knights. And this is going to end the first period as the Golden Knights take a 2-1 lead. And the second period is to take a 2-1 lead after 2. My goodness, what a goal that was. Come right back. We'll talk with anyone else in the chat or in the YouTube side if I see anybody. But if not, we're going to call the third period of this game. We're under an electric finish right now. Hope you come right back and enjoy me for the third period. Wow. So right now it's got Chandler Stevenson on the power play from Eichel and Stone. And Vegas, with about 3 seconds left, they've retaken the lead to end 2. It's 2-1 after 2. going to put this over here right now so I can get this typed in. If I see anybody, we will interact with that. So this is
Switch to Progressive and you can save hundreds. You know, like the sign says.
Tigers start their day with a quick taste of hot flicks so they can be great.
I serve at a place I call home.
I serve to protect those around me.
I serve as the Titans analyst. I serve as a maintainer.
Because I like fixing things.
I serve because my dad did, and because his dad did too.
I serve to learn things I've never learned in school.
I serve.
be right back here.
Welcome to Future, the fitness program that pairs you with your own dedicated coach.
Great job, Kim. You haven't missed a workout in 2 months.
Have this person that's genuinely there for you to help you reach your goals.
Kyle, seeing your heart rate pick up, let's keep that intensity until the end.
Person around you is getting a surprise workout that hooks you.
Anybody at any fitness level have a coach that meets you exactly where you're at.
It's more than an app. It's more than a personal trainer. It's your future.
In a tight battle at American Airlines Center tonight, Vegas opened scoring in the first period as Jason Robertson would level the game at 1, but the Golden Knights convert on the power play with 2 seconds left in the second period, and it's 2-1 Vegas after 2. Welcome into the second intermission report. I'm Lauren Callinger alongside Brian Ray and Brent Severin, and Josh mentioned it at the end of the period. We've seen Dallas come back quite a few times this season. Tonight will be their biggest comeback of the season, however, if they can pull it out.
This is the kind of drama you want for a game of this magnitude if you're a hockey fan. I'd like the Stars to be 7-0 right now, but it's just not that type of game, Semi. This has been a back-and-forth contest, and combined, the Vegas Golden Knights have scored their goals with 53
Okay.
left in the period, so it's been quite a momentum swing entering breaks.
Let's not forget what happened last game to the Vegas Knights, and they're a little bit of a team that can be, you know, you can put some pressure on. They know what happened a couple games ago against the San Jose Sharks.
Make sure I got.
They gave up a couple goals in the last 2 minutes. You know the Stars
Okay,
are talking
so
about it. You know that Vegas is not trying to think about it, but you get the skin of this team early and keep putting pressure, and hopefully they will fall.
And the Golden Knights opened scoring in this one. Jason Robertson was ending his 39th of the season before Vegas could regain the lead. Ryan, let's take a look at the highlights.
Well, it was an unfortunate bounce late in period one that put Vegas on the board as they forced possession in their favor at center. And it really on the roster stick of Luke Glendening right there, Sammy.
So the Tigers, local scores, they're up 4-3 right now with a man on third, 2 outs in the 8th inning. And it doesn't really matter for the Red Wings, but they lost 3-0 to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Again, that may matter for the Maple Leafs as far as not wanting to play the Tampa Bay Lightning. Third period action has the Nashville Predators up 3-2 on the Calgary Flames. Thinking about playoff bracketing. So that is 18:08 left to go in the third. I'm going to switch over to that real quick. And we're going to go right back to this, and we'll call the third period action, just to get you abreast of the update here. So let's go to this game real quick. Again, if the Predators win this thing, then it really will be over for Vegas if they don't win, because that second wildcard spot's not going to be as readily available. So this is big right now. They've got to be rooting for the Calgary Flames. They cannot be rooting for Nashville. If this result holds, it's going to be a death sentence for one of these teams, possibly. So it's 18:03 left to go in the third. Nashville is up 3-2. Let's see if I give you your goal scores. And Calgary just tied it 3-3. So Calgary has just scored in the third period. As the third period is really kind of just underway, about 2 minutes and 3 seconds. Right off the faceoff draw, it goes to Noah Hannafin. Hannafin plays it out in front through the screen, and it goes right in. It might have got deflected there. Hannafin and Lucic. I think Lucic might be getting credit for this goal, but it is tied at 3 now. So it was Dylan Dubé on the power play from Michael Backlund and Rasmus Andersson. And then Nashville scores twice in the second period, momentarily takes the lead. Roman Josi from Philip Tomasino and Ryan Johansson, and then Matt Duchene, who's having an incredible year. Remember, he said he was done. He's got 42 goals. Roman Josi, assist number 71, and Michael Granlund, another guy that they thought was done. They took a momentarily 2-1 lead, and then Dylan Dubé tied it back up at 2-2 from Kel Yarncroc and Oliver Shillington. And then this one now, the latest goals, again, we got the one that was just scored as we just got back on this. It was Philip Forsberg, his 41st of the year on the power play from Granlund and Matt Duchene. And then Noah Hannafin from Lucic and Brett Ritchie just tied the game at 3 at the 2:03 mark of the third period. So right now, if you're Vegas and if you're Dallas, this game is critically important because of the standings. And we talked about that a little bit in the opener of the game they're doing right now, in the sense of what is available and what is going on. So the only shot for Nashville is they have 79 games played, 44, 29, and 9, 94 points, plus 15. And Dallas, 44, 30, and 5, 93 points, notwithstanding for this game, is that wild card. Because Minnesota Wild, St. Louis Blues, and Colorado Avalanche already have all that stuff in the bag. I mean, positioning-wise, aside, playoff spots are done. So if Nashville can find a way to even get a point, or if Calgary, just wins this one in regulation, that will give a little more hope there for Vegas and Dallas. But Vegas and Dallas right now need to just control their own destiny. It's pretty much that simple. But we'll take a live look at that. Probably that game's going to be over before I'm able to finish mine, because it's a half hour started earlier. So we'll get the final result. I'll get some of the standing things squared away before we close out the Colorcast when that time comes. But 3-3 now between Calgary and Nashville. So again, if there's anyone in the stream, I will interact with you. We're in intermission right now. I was just flipping through a couple of the games that have some implications right now between this one that we're doing right now between the Golden Knights and the Stars.
Also, it's a strong pass and his heads-up ability to find the forwards on this one. As he is streaking through the middle, this allows this goal to transpire. So for Miro, he really looks like he wants to push the pace in this one. He's up offensively, defensively, he's using his stick outstanding in every aspect of the game. So you look at a guy that can change the complexion of the game. I would think Miro would be the guy that you have to circle in this third period.
Those first two clips with his stick defensively, and we just talked about the offensive zone possession time for Vegas. How many subtle little passes and plays has he broken up by simply having that blade in the right spot at the right time? There's just so many things he does. He's been really good tonight for the Dallas Stars.
Okay, guys, final frame is coming up next at American Airlines Center, Vegas, with a 2-1 lead after 2. Stick around after the game for the post-game edition of Stars Live on Valley Sports.
And he got back.
Unlimited cashback match, only from Discover.
I'm defeated, feel mistreated. I'm so angry, I'm singing a song. 'Cause I'm paying so much for home internet, and that's just wrong. Got T-Mobile home internet. I feel happy, great, very happy. Look how much money I'm saving right now. There's no hidden fees, no price hikes, one cool world.
Introducing T-Mobile 5G home internet. Just $50 a month. It's that simple.
I serve because I love where I live.
I serve part-time, so I can study to my degree.
To be close to my family. I serve to get a leg up.
And to lend a hand.
I serve as a medical technician.
I serve as a pararescueman because I'll do whatever it takes to save lives.
I serve as an airman in the Air National Guard.
Got a minute? Got a hose? Then you could have the best lawn on the block. How? With Sunday. They send you exactly what your lawn needs, right when it needs it. It's that easy. You bet your grass it is. Sunday takes the hard work out of yard work. No more guessing, no weird chemicals. Just lawn care that's better for kids, pets, and the planet. So ditch the old ways for Sunday Fun Day. Go to getsunday.com. Use code SUNDAYFUNDAY for 20% off your smart lawn plan.
Tasks, deadlines, and projects. What if you had a tool that brought
So I know we had a little bit of a discussion in the first intermission
teamwork at scale?
about Vegas and some of that stuff, and it's really easy to have that discussion. But I wanted to bring something in before we started the third period, and we're probably getting close to it here pretty soon. But for Dallas, in the sense of, okay, a couple of years ago, that Stanley Cup final, let's face it, probably came out of nowhere. I never thought Dallas was a bad team. I always really, really liked the acquisition of Tyler Seguin. I thought that it would be more fruitful than it's been. But at the same time, I've talked about it throughout the broadcast. Probably can expound upon it a little bit here. But in the sense of having Ben and Seguin, Klingberg, Suter, Heiskanen, mixing all that stuff in there between a second line on defense or even a third line on offense, and still having Denis Gurianov and Alexander Radulov when he comes back again. I know Radulov only has a few points on the season, but those were guys, especially a couple of years ago in Radulov, you thought you had really high hopes for as far as doing some damage on a first line. And you think about all the other depth you might have, and that's why I think about it going into it, other than the Colorado Avalanche. Dallas has a shot. I really do believe that they have a shot in the postseason. Now, if they play against Colorado, much like how I feel about the Dallas Mavericks and the Jazz, I know cross sport for Dallas teams, the Mavericks can beat the Jazz. I think they can even probably take a couple playoff series. I would say the same thing for the Dallas Stars. If you're not playing the Colorado Avalanche, they could probably take a couple playoff series. Again, it all falls upon, and I hate the cliche of rookie goalies and this and that, you always need goaltending, but this is one of those instances where you have the Golden Knights and the Stars in the sense of you're relying on two rookies to try to get things done in the postseason if you get there. That does give you a little bit of hesitancy, but I think the depth that the Stars have all the way across the board, and the way that they play defense there with Rick Bowness, I wouldn't count them out. I really wouldn't. I think the West is more open. And as far as that playoff conversations, we can have those. And we try to find some of that stuff here toward the end of the broadcast. But if you're looking at playoff matchups, I would give them the chance for sure. Granted, if it's not the Avalanche. So let me just look at this because I think it has this together. So it would be Colorado and Dallas, like I thought, because it's the second wild card spot. So in that sense, does it show Dallas has beaten them 4-1, they lost 4-0, and they won 3-1, where they won the season series 3 games, 2 games to 1. So Dallas needs to try to find their 11th comeback victory. They want these points right now. Again, they won't be mathematically eliminated if they get a loss, but Vegas would be. Shot gets loose out in front, stopped there by the left blocker of Logan Thompson. If you're just joining me, Vegas scored very late in that second period on the power play side of things. It was Chandler Stevenson from Jack Eichel and Mark Stone to give BGK a 2-1 lead on the Dallas Stars right now, with all sorts of implication on the 80th game of the regular season as it stands right now. So it's Vegas 20 shots on goal with a 2-1 lead against the Dallas Stars. The Dallas Stars have 19. Not a lot of shots to be had. Some good defense on both sides. This is Nicholas Waugh now. Waugh loses it. Rope Hintz will bounce this one off the kick plate to Joe Pa. Joe Pa now will get this one deeper. Goes just toward the left of Logan Thompson, almost loose out in front of the left faceoff dot and intercepted by Dallas. Jason Robertson now holding off the backhand. Give to Heiskanen. It goes behind the net. Jamie Benn trying to do some work there with Pavelski as they've mixed the first and second line. Now Harley for Klingberg as they've mixed the second and third line defense there for Dallas. Rick Bowness trying to do all sorts of changes to start this third period and try to get some momentum and get the Stars to tie this game back up. Again, the Stars don't care if they win this game in overtime or a shootout, but they need to get this tied up here first. For Vegas, they just want to win this game right now. Nice move there by Heiskanen off the backhand. Gets a clean entry for Ben. Shot goes just high of Logan Thompson off of the right stick. And now it's stuck on the right side boards. All sorts of mass humanity as Ben Hutton was stuck against the boards. Dallas has it now. Sagan, nice up and under move there through off the back end of the cage of Logan Thompson. Dallas still with this thing. Vegas having trouble trying to get this one out. And now they finally do. 17:50 left to go in the last stanza, if it's not tied at the end of regulation. Janmark getting worked over there by his former teammates there in Dallas. And now Dallas finally gets this across the red line. Chip and chase. And almost inexcusably, Luke Glendening can get to there first. But Vegas was just able to get out of there as Mark Stone can loft this one down. Being held there was Carlson and being punished on the other side by Miro Heiskanen. Raffle now. Off the kick plate and off the glass. Back to Alex Pietrangelo now finds itself. Now it goes to a fast moving start again once again here. This is Pietrangelo. Clean entry. Shot gets blocked there by Yanni Hakanpää. And we get a stoppage as the puck goes up and out of play. So 17:09 left to go in this third period. It is a 2-1 advantage here for the Vegas Golden Knights over the Dallas Stars. It's pretty simple. Again, we've talked about many times throughout this broadcast. But Dallas can clinch a playoff berth with a regulation win. And if that happens, Vegas is going to be going golfing. So Alex Pietrangelo, 77 games played, 13 goals, 30 assists, 43 points. He got that big deal from the St. Louis Blues, got moved over to Vegas off the trade. Gets one clean there from Radek Faksa, now Harley and Klingberg. Gets a clean entry there, now Rope Hintz. Rope Hintz left side toward the face-off dot, spinning around there, trying to play it out in front. It's loose a couple times. Thompson with one save. And now Dallas trying to just do some work with this. Pavelski gets this out front, they score! Dallas ties the game. Pavelski doing the work. And Dallas knots it up at 2. And we just talked about that with the line 1 combination between Robertson, Hintz, Pavelski. And is this 2 for Robertson is the question. Joe Pavelski did all the heavy lifting in behind the net. Robertson, chip and chase, picked back up by Pavelski. It was loose. It worked its way in front of the net, and Robertson got the deflection. So Jason Robertson, with the help of Pavelski, gets his 2nd of the game off of a nice tip. It eludes Logan Thompson, and we're knotted at 2. So what a game we have right now. This has the makings of the classic as we would have hoped. And this is one of those times, again, 4th player in Dallas history with 40 goals in the season. Jason Robertson, my goodness. Welcome to the league, sir. This is a breaking out party here for Robertson. You gotta love that. And it goes up and on a plate. So the 21st shot on goal is the 2nd goal of the contest here for Dallas. The 2nd goal of the contest for Jason Robertson. So when you think about, again, you know, Joe Nieuwendyk, Mike Modano, Brett Hull, some of the other incredible players that they've had here in Dallas, Jason Robertson is on that list, and he's young, and he's only continuing to get better. So I think the Stars, again, he was drafted pretty high. I imagine like Robertson was what, between the 5th and 7th pick of the draft just a couple of years ago. And he's got to fit every single bill right now for Dallas in the sense of, like we talked about, Rope, Hintz, Robertson, and Pavelski on that first line. And for them doing as much damage as they do, you got to feel good if you're Dallas. Now Jimmy Benn, Sagan, slap shot blocked. Picked back up by Jonathan Marchessault, stuck in between the skates. Vegas once again trying to take momentum. Marchessault, nice hold off the backhand. Plays it out in front. Ottinger was down, but the Dallas defense got there first. We're down to 16 minutes left to go in the 3rd period. John out here with you from Dallas, Texas. It's the American Airlines Center. It's win or go home right now for the Vegas Golden Knights. Again, if it's an OT loss, they're still alive at this point, but if they lose this game outright, it's over. And for Dallas, if they win this in regulation, they've clinched, and this playoff stuff is done with 2 games left to go. Both these teams have a back-to-back tomorrow, so you think about a split in points, it would be Vegas playing the Blackhawks and the Dallas Stars playing the Arizona Coyotes. There's going to be many tired legs tomorrow for both of these teams if it's not all wrapped up after today. And it won't be wrapped up for Vegas after today. Even if they win this in regulation, they're pretty much going to have to get points in all 3 games, maybe win all 3 games outright to even get in, if that's what ends up happening. Especially if Calgary doesn't get a win against Nashville. So now this is Pietrangelo. Pietrangelo is going to play this one to Mark Stone, and it goes down the ice, where that is an icing on Vegas, so it's going to be a defensive zone draw against the Golden Knights. And again, the Dallas Stars have a chance to make something happen with 15:28 left to go in the 3rd period. They've just knotted this game courtesy of Jason Robertson on his 2nd goal of the game right now. And the point where it matters the biggest in game number 80 of the season. So Foxa, once again, this is Rope Hintz now. He can't win it clean. It's usually Foxa and Hintz taking those draws. Hintz loses it. It goes back into the neutral zone. I believe that one was played up and out of the glass, so we're going to get a face-off now in the neutral zone with 15:22 remaining here in the 3rd period. Glad you can join me here. I know there's a lot of NBA playoff games going on right now. And I've done a few of those already. I've done 3 of them as far on Colorcast. The first time I've done any simulcasting on YouTube as far as all of this stuff is done. But I'm glad you can join me here anyway, because this is a big point in the regular season where there's a lot going on. So 15 minutes just about left to go in the 3rd period. Vegas and Dallas tied at 2. Hakanpää now trying to get this one out. Vegas intercepts with Shea Theodore trying to get across to McNabb. It gets blocked there by Dallas. Dallas can loft this thing back down the ice. Trying to get on the James Foxa, and he almost got it past Logan Thompson as he tried to stick check it out in front. It goes back to Dallas. It goes just wide of the post. on the left side as Dallas is starting to buzz now. It goes just wide again of Thompson as it goes up and out of play. So mini heart attack, mini stroke, whatever there for Thompson, whatever you want to talk about. He felt his life flash right before his eyes. And Roddick Fox, you credit the hustle there as he beat Shea Theodore to the puck, and he almost got it across that blue paint. So that fresh legs there off the line change there for Fox, making something happen. And his shot from Miro Heiskanen got sauced a little bit as it got bounced around like a pinball in between Vegas and Dallas players and just went wide of Thompson there. So this is Fox on the draw there with Eichel. Fox wins it clean, gets it back there to Hintz, stopped there by Thompson. It's loose out in front of the blue paint, stopped by Thompson once more, almost intercepted there by Dennis Furyanov, and now it is. Can Eichel get to this thing first? Dallas really buzzing, the crowd alive right now at American Airlines Center as they're loving the effort they're seeing on the forecheck, and the puck goes up into the players' bench. So we're going to have a neutral zone draw with 14:25 remaining here in the third period of play. It's going to be the Dallas Stars attacking from right to left and the Golden Knights attacking from left to right. The Golden Knights are in the white jerseys with the mix of gold and red, and the Dallas Stars are in the victory green. Again, maybe within the last couple of years, I don't like this Dallas Stars jersey as much as some of the old school ones, especially in the mid-2000s with the Dallas Stars dark black. I really like those ones. It got loose in front a couple times, and Logan Thompson made the first save, and Vegas able to get that one out. Dallas now up to a 23-20 shot advantage. They've had some better chances. Chandler Stevenson gets his shot blocked by Rope Hintz as he went all the way back in there from offensive zone to defensive zone to deny that opportunity. And McNabb is going to play this one. Pietrangelo back to McNabb now. He's got it on the left wing side, gets across that red line. He's going to softly dump this one into the right side boards. It goes around there from Klingberg and Thomas Harley, and it goes up and out of play. This is going to be a defensive zone draw and a stoppage with 13:47 left to go in the third period. Tied at 2. Come right back. This is going to be a good finish.
Verizon is going ultra with 5G ultra wideband in many more cities. Get up to 10 times the speed at no extra cost. Plus, 6 premium entertainment subscriptions included, like Disney Plus, music, gaming, and more. Delightful. Saving you over $350 a year. And for a limited time, get a 5G phone on us. No trade-in required. Amazing. This is the offer you just can't miss. Verizon is going ultra, so you can get more.
Your mission, stand up to moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis and take it on with Rinvoq. Rinvoq, a once-daily pill, can dramatically improve symptoms. Rinvoq helps tame pain, stiffness, swelling, and croissant. Rinvoq can even significantly reduce RA fatigue. That's Rinvoq relief. With RA, your overactive immune system attacks your joints. Rinvoq regulates it to help stop the attack.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB. This infection can cause some fatal cancers, including lymphoma and skin cancer, death, heart attack, stroke, and tears in the stomach or intestines occur. Keep up with Dan.
They've won a lot of faceoffs in the game, too. Pavelski won one that led to a golden opportunity against the Knights for Robertson turned aside. John Klingberg got his nasal cavities raked along the boards right in front of Vegas' bench.
You gotta love the smile of a hockey player as John Klingberg is missing all sorts of chicklets there. He got smacked right in the mouth as far as the stick right across the boards, going in for a line change there. We're still 13:47 left to go in the third period. We're not at 2 between the Vegas Golden Knights and the Dallas Stars. I've talked about many times as far as the playoff implications that game number 80 of the regular season of 82 has in store for these two teams right now. And both of these teams are playing like their life depended on it. This is Tyler Seguin now. Jack Eichel, one clean by Vegas. Ottinger, puck goes up and out of play once more. We're going to do it one more time, as this is a Vegas offensive zone draw. Jonathan Marchessault looks on, exchanging some words there with Ben Hutton. Again, if these two teams are feeling any sort of pressure, You're not really seeing it in the pace of play right now. Attention to detail on defense, some shot blocks, and some good offensive opportunities. Sagan, one more time on the draw. Wins it clean now. Gets it to Ryan Suter. Rockets this one in behind the net. Try to get this one to Vlad Nemestikov. Nice pass. Jamie Benn, couple of dangles. Tried to play it to Sagan. Couldn't do it. Sagan still got it on the left side boards as Dallas intercepts this thing. Now Vegas gets it right back. Vegas trying to work in there with William Karlsson. Catapulted around the left boards. Try to get stuck on the left face-off dot. Vegas trying to get this one in the zone. They can't. It goes back to Alex Pietrangelo. Back into the left side as Alec Martinez can get this one deeper. Now Jonathan Marchessault to Nicholas Waugh. Nicholas Waugh now on the left side turning off the backhand. Working his way on the right face-off dot. Drops it back to Pietrangelo. Pietrangelo trying to work him behind the net looking for Karlsson. Karlsson trying to do some yeoman's work in behind the net. Nicholas Waugh keeps this thing alive there with Karlsson. They're being worked over by Sagan and Heiskanen. Waugh still with it now. Plays it to Marchessault. Still on the left side boards. Goes around the net one more time to Waugh. And now Martinez now up off the forecheck. So one of the forwards got to go back. And Dallas probably a little tired. Going to elect to get a little bit of a line change there. Vegas gets him intercepted as Patches. He gets dumped and turned over. He falls on his side, and Dallas is able to pick this one up the neutral zone. It goes back to Logan Thompson. Hits this one hard off the inboards, but it doesn't go anywhere. It's stuck on the right side boards, and Vegas got to get this out now as they're working their way through the neutral zone. 12 minutes left to go in the third period. We're knotted at 2. All kinds of massive humanity through the line change. Couple of extra bumps there as there was some body checks and all kinds of contact toward the right side boards and toward the red line. And now Dallas can intercept this thing and reset there with their defensive pairings as Heiskanen can get this one down deep. It finds its way back to Logan Thompson. Backhand pass out from the goal crease. Lazily intercepted there from Vegas, and now here comes Dallas with Thomas Harley. Tries to get that out in front to Jamie Benn, and through the traffic, it was stopped by Logan Thompson with 11:35 left to go in the third period. Pacioretty still shaken up from that body contact. Not sure if it was a hip check. He's got his head down. He's holding his breath a little bit. He may get a bruised in the ribs a little bit. We'll take another look at this from the Bally Sports side of things. Michael Raffle, and that was a good old-fashioned rear end to guts, right in the guts. And it knocked the wind out of him, I'm sure, pretty much. So this is an offensive zone draw here for Dallas. Gets a chance here with Jamie Benn to take the draw on this side. Jack Eichel will be the opposition. Gets drawn. Gets won by Dallas off the faceoff dot. Stopped there by Thompson, down! And it goes just loose back toward the left side paint, and Thompson now gets a piece of it, and now it goes back to Vegas. My goodness, that was close. Thompson was out of position off of that second rebound, but it just went toward the left side as Thompson made a nice acrobatic save. Eichel now, left side, working his way toward the blue, leaves it Theodore. Tries to go for the wrist shot, stopped there by Ottinger momentarily. Dallas doesn't know where it is right now. It's on the right side boards. This is Tyler Sagan getting worked over a little bit, trying to skate through. Vegas has this one. This is Nicholas Waugh. Theodore, bomb! Goes to the left and stopped by Ottinger off the rebound. And now Vegas and Klingberg trying to get to this. Vlad Nemestikov open in the slot. It goes to Theodore right now. And Pietrangelo. Jack Eichel, right side face-off dot, looking for a short side shot on the right side. It goes way wide. Pietrangelo now, dumped in. Tries to get it out front across the goal mouth. Jonathan Marchessault couldn't get to it. And now this is Michael Raffle getting some punishment on the other side. Marchessault trying to pick this one back up, trying to leave it there. Going to get on his horse there is Pietrangelo. He does. And now Dallas can settle this one down with Miro Heiskanen. We're getting just under half a period left to go in the third. Tied at 2. John on here with you from American Airlines Center, as this has been a wonderful game so far. Local score here for you. Toronto gets a 3-0 win against the Detroit Red Wings, and whether or not that keeps them away from the Tampa Bay Lightning, I think there's still maybe a couple games to decide that, but you would think if the last team that Toronto would want to play is the Tampa Bay Lightning, you got to get wins, and you got to take advantage of the Red Wings, and they did that tonight. As far as your ESPN box score, let me see if I can get this updated as well. This is Nashville, a 4-3 lead with 3:37 left to go in the contest against the Calgary Flames. So that could be a death sentence for either one of these teams if they don't get that win result that they want right now. They want Calgary to win that game in regulation, but Nashville is threatening to be able to take this one. And again, for Calgary, probably isn't much concern. You want to just stay away at this point as you've already clinched the Pacific. Just not get injured at this point in the year. And think about it, you don't have to play Colorado, so you're good there. And now, this is Theodore. Theodore is going to play this one to Chandler Stevenson. Now it goes back to Theodore. And now Mark Stone on the right wing side. Blocker to side there by Jake Ottinger. Played out in front of Stone, and he couldn't get the puck off the stick. And here comes the Dallas Stars. It's 3-on-2 though, as 3 Golden Knights are back. Stars still get this thing, but Stone was all the way off the back skate to be able to intercept. This is William Carrier. Nice entry. Tried to play it off a give and go back to Carrier. They couldn't do that. Now Miro Heiskanen gets punished there by Carrier. Now down to 9 minutes left to go in the third period. I'm in Dallas, Texas right now. This is American Airlines Center. Vegas Golden Knights and Dallas Stars tied at 2. Vegas gets a regulation win. They're in the playoffs. Dallas gets a regulation win. They're in the playoffs. Vegas would be out. If Vegas can get a regulation win, the Noose ever tightens with 2 games left to go in the regular season. Still 8:30 left, or maybe some extra time left to go to decide that. Stolen there by Foxa in the neutral zone. And now Dallas, as the crowd is standing and cheering, as Suter dumps this one in. It goes just toward the left of Thompson. Picked back up by the Golden Knights. Carlson can't find it in between the skates. Intercepted. Shot gets blocked out in front. Carlson, 2-on-1 for the Knights. Stone. Carlson off the one-timer, and it gets stopped, and the net gets knocked off its moorings. But the play is still live. I believe it's knocked off its mooring. It's a little bit toward the side. It hasn't been blown. It's not all the way straight. The play is still live, though, and now the referee finally sees it as they allowed the play to still continue. So 8 minutes left to go. We have a media timeout. Vegas was looking dangerous there in the 2-on-1, but it got denied by Jake Ottinger. Come right back. 8 minutes left. Knotted at 2. Result still holds right now. 2:48 left to go in the other contest between Nashville and Calgary. It is a 4-3 lead for the Predators right now. Again, Calgary doesn't really care so much as far as what that result is. They've already clinched the division in the Pacific. But for Nashville, if that result holds, my goodness, that could really tighten some other things here. Let me take a look at the NHL standings right now. So let's go to the wild card section of this. So if Nashville wins, it'll be 80 games played and 96 points. That would put either Dallas at 95 or 93, maybe somewhere in between, and Vegas Golden Knights at 92. So that is not what Dallas and Vegas want. They want to be able to have the other wild card spot open. And essentially, the door can start to close ever more. 2:21 left, as it's just updated again. Nashville still up 4-3. So we're getting close to gut check time here. It was a great save by Jake Ottinger off a 2-on-1 off a cross pass there from William Karlsson to keep the game knotted at 2. We got 8 minutes left to go in the contest, knotted at 2. Dallas Stars, it's a defensive zone draw. It's 26 shots advantage for Stars, 24 for the Golden Knights, but nobody really cares about that except for the scoreboard between these two teams right now. It's Rope Hintz getting this one clean off the skates, and Dallas able to emerge with puck possession. Jamie Benn looking for that cross pass, and it was a nice deflection there by the Golden Knights to stop that opportunity that could have almost assuredly been a good shot opportunity against Logan Thompson. I think both goalies so far have been very, very strong, and that was just a great stick check there by Braden McNabb to be able to save Logan Thompson. Another mini heart attack there as far as some of his opportunities here, because a couple of these shots have honestly just missed a little bit wide to the left or the right side. It's kind of like been the Angel Hernandez strike zone between the Philadelphia Phillies all over the place. The shots have been buzzing. So Braden McNabb now gets this one down the ice, gets into the offensive zone entry. Mark Stone holding, playing it out in front. Stevenson stopped by Ottinger. Stevenson couldn't get a whole piece of it. He was trying to just hold enough to be able to get that shot, but he had to take the time off the bouncing puck to control it, which allowed Ottinger to be able to see it all the way and make the save with 7:28 left to go. So that was a nice pass in there from Carrier and Stone to Chandler Stevenson, and Ottinger saw it the whole way, but Stevenson just had to, again, control that bouncing puck on the ice, and sometimes that's what allows the goalie to be able to get over enough where you can't snipe those corners. So Vegas loses the draw again. This goes to Dallas. Heiskanen now to Suter on the left wing side. Somebody gets upended there. I think that was Pietrangelo. And now it's going to go all the way back down from an icing. So this has been a pretty clean game as far as penalties and everything else is concerned. I believe just 2 in the game. The first one was on Nicholas Waugh, hooking Joe Pavelski. No goal scored on that one. But the Luke Glendening penalty, which allowed Vegas to score late, 3 seconds left to go in the second period. And that was where we're at right now. Scoring summary. The latest one was Jason Robertson in the third period, not the game at 2. Robertson's got 2. They're singing Journey right now at American Airlines Center, so I guess Detroit's not the only one to do that with the stupid South Detroit thing. Again, I'm one of those Detroit fans. I know it's tradition there, but there is no such thing as South Detroit. So, 7 minutes. Hence, shot gets stopped there by Logan Thompson. He was all alone off the injury. He thought better just to take that quick wrist shot with nobody in front of him, but he wasn't able to elevate it in the corner, and Thompson saw it all the way and gloved it and held on with 7:04 left to go. In the third period, again, we're tied at 2. Winner in regulation is going to move on here. That's going to be the Dallas Stars. They'll be in the playoffs. If Vegas loses in regulation, they're done. If Vegas gets any kind of intermediate result, getting a point or a regulation win, that just continues to tighten the noose around the Dallas Stars. So this is about as big of a regular season game as you can get. And I know how the Vegas fans are saying every game should matter. And again, you don't want to lose those games against the Sharks in overtime or the New Jersey Devils outright loss. And again, they're right. Let's put themselves in that position. But we are where we are right now with 6:40 left to go in the third period. And this is gut check time between these two teams. Two teams that have not really played their best hockey down the stretch. They're in the position they are because of that. But right now, this makes the intrigue as far as a broadcaster and watching this game. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, trying to report all this stuff back to you. Again, full coverage and game story and play-by-play to follow. This is Hintz to Robertson. It gets intercepted there by McNabb as we're down to about 6 minutes left to go in the third period. And last touch offside there by the Dallas Stars. So we're going to get a neutral zone checkup there as they get a look at Evgeny Dadonov. Remember, he made some pretty good money and had some pretty good opportunity with the Florida Panthers. But when he got into Vegas, they're saying, wow, we're up against the cap now after all the moves that they made. But it was funny when they tried to ship out Dadonov to the Anaheim Ducks without having the no trade clause documents. And you're thinking Dadonov is one of the best power play scorers that you have on Vegas all season. Again, I understand a $6 million cap hit, but he's also one of the only guys scoring on the team. So why would you want to move on from that when the season's very important right now? This would be the first time in 5-year history here for the Golden Knights that they would miss the playoffs if they lose in regulation today. Down to 6 minutes now, officially. Vegas with Carlson now and Stevenson. Wow. Trying to get in there. Can't do it. Gets checked a couple of times. Dallas now gets this thing with Vladimir Mestikov on third line nowadays here for Dallas. From our first line here for Detroit, that tells you where they're at right now. Michael Raffle, big hit, tells Carrier to take a seat, but Vegas now getting this one down as it gets dumped down the left side of the ice. High stick there, not called there on the Dallas end of things. And now this is Nicholas Waugh trying to keep this alive toward the blue line side of things. It goes in between Alec Martinez, picked back up by Carrier, and now goes around the net as McNabb is trying to do some work there with Marchessault. Loose out in front, tried to pass across when they should have shot was Vegas. And now that was great defense there from Alec Martinez to stop any kind of break there from Dallas. They definitely could have had one. Kept onside, stopped by Ottinger off the first, and I think that was Chandler Stevenson that got a quick wrist shot in there that was stopped by Ottinger. And we get immediate timeout. 5:05 left remaining here in the third period. Knotted at 2. Get close to ending the third period here. Maybe we have overtime. Stick with me. Come right back. Flames tie with 1/10 of a second. Nashville gets at least 1 point. I appreciate that, Cooper, in the sense of that's what this has massive implications for. So, again, we've talked about it a few times within the broadcast, and welcome back. I hope everything is good. That really Vegas and Dallas didn't want Nashville to get any sort of points. Look, I understand between Vegas and Dallas, not everybody's going to be able to walk away with points today, at least not 2 points. Not everybody gets 2 points. But they didn't want Nashville to pick up anything. And you know what? Maybe Calgary, again, it doesn't really matter so much to them right now at this point in the season with 2 games left for pretty much all these teams right now. Just don't get any injuries on the Calgary side. But nobody really needs to do anybody else any favors. At this time of the year, you got to take care of your own business right now. And that's pretty much where we're at right now with 5:04 left in this game, knotted at 2. If you want to hop on here, Cooper, when you're done watching that, I can definitely invite you here for the overtime or anything else. You let me know. Maybe we can have a discussion before I close this color cast. I know you're busy with a lot of other stuff. I think the playoffs will start next week, so hopefully we get a chance to. You can do the play-by-play and all that stuff. That's all good. I just want to hop on there with you and let's do a game. It'll be fun. So we're still waiting here as Logan Thompson is skating around. Again, I've already said gut check time a couple of times here, but the playoff intensity that you would get in a regular season game like this when it matters, you've seen it right now. It's been a good contest on both sides. So Luke Glendening has a chance for the draw. This is Chandler Stevenson being the opposition. Luke Glendening, former Red Wing, was very good on the draws for Detroit. Again, is one of the third liners that probably doesn't get talked about a lot, but a good defensive forward. He gets that draw. Vegas can't get in there clean off the entry, and there's some sticks that broke in half as Yanni Hakanpää trying to get into the zone got absolutely hip check there, and he's going to need some new hardware as we get a stoppage with 4:53 left to go in the third period. Shots on goal sound like this: 28 for Dallas, 26 for Vegas. It was Jason Robertson scoring both goals for Dallas and William Carrier and Chandler Stevenson on the power play for Vegas. We're not at 2. 4:40 left to go. Vegas trying to get this into the offensive zone. Dallas all there. Off to the races there. Foxa poke checking this head a couple times. I've loved the effort and fortitude there from Foxa. Almost got a goal there on Logan Thompson off of a stick check there because he just got the fresh legs and hustle. And you're seeing that from a veteran forward right now, and you really appreciate that. Now down to 4:15. Logan Thompson will play this in the goal crease and Carrier, and Vegas will attempt to get started. Again, if there's no goals after this between 4 minutes, we're going to go to overtime here. And Carrier, and the shot gets knocked off. The shot knocks it off its moorings, and the net is loose again. Within the last 4 minutes, we've seen the net loose a couple of times. Jake Ottinger and Logan Thompson, for the most part, the 25 and 23-year-old, respectively, both sides between Vegas and Dallas, have been very good. And I think both times, again, that shot just knocked it right off its moorings. You don't see that too often there. Again, it's probably good. I think if you go back, 30, 40 years, something like that, those nets really didn't have any give. So if you run into that net, you could be causing into some problems now. So thank God they've changed that over the years. You don't want to see these guys just get in a car accident right in front of the net and get upended. So Joe Pavelski now, a draw here for Dallas. will win this one clean. Once again, Dallas been very good on the defensive side of draws, and that really helps at this point. Pavelski tries to get this one stretch pass to Rope Hintz. Goes just wide, but Hintz was the first to get to there, but without some reinforcement and some punishment. Almost intercepted there by Robertson, looking for the hat trick. And Eichel will bounce this one off the kick play, but Vegas is offside. They got to go back. Eichel straddling that blue line. And now we're down to 3:35 left to go in the third period. John out here with you from Dallas, Texas at American Airlines Center. We're not at it too. Dallas gets a regulation win. They've locked off that second wild card. If Vegas in turn loses in that spot, it's out. It's lights out for Vegas for the first time in their 5-year history. So a lot on the line right now. Again, your broadcaster is probably hoping for overtime. Again, not rooting for either one of these teams, essentially, so it's always nice to be able to do that in the sense of, but I've seen Dallas now. This is the third game I've covered with them. It's been the Tampa Bay Lightning game when they just won 1-0, and the time before that where they got obliterated by the Los Angeles Kings once before that. But I've seen some playoff teams, and I've seen Dallas rise to the occasion against these playoff-type matchups and type teams. And we'll see if they can do that right now. And for Vegas right now, again, we've talked about all the moves that were made over the last few years. They're trying to mortgage that future and look for that big home run. You're up against the cap right now if you're Vegas within the last couple of years here. So this team is going to be largely the same. Pietrangelo gets his shot deflected, but Ottinger was able to see that all the way and stop it. So Vegas doesn't have much room as far as next year changing their fortune as far as what their team is going to be. So what you see is what you get. And it's very confusing to me, as we talked about it in the second intermission, why you would get rid of Gerard Gallant after making the Stanley Cup Finals in the misfit year in the first year. Again, losing to the Washington Capitals. I'm not blaming him for that. Ovechkin had to win that one. He's got to get one. But Gerard Gallant is thriving here for the New York Rangers. And now you got Peter DeBoer. You have some of the things where you don't bring in Marc-Andre Fleury. It's pretty interesting on Vegas' side of things. So 2:50 left. We'll see if something can happen here. Dadonov gets the steal. Tries to play this out in front of Pacioretty. Goes just wide. Jake Ottinger with a glove save as it's loose. Picked back up there by McNabb. Gets blocked there by one of the Dallas defenders as they were up and out of the play. Nice back pass. Theodore! What a glove save by Jake Ottinger as he flashes the leather, stopping that one from going in. 2:37 left to go in the third period as the crowd is standing, and as they should. What a flash of the leather there for Ottinger. Nice bounce save off the boards there, and as Theodore got the complete bomb, it's still getting worked over right now on the left side, and he just saw it all the way, and he just made a flashy glove save there, and if he didn't do that, Vegas would be at a point where this could be nuts. So the Flames win the game, according to Cooper Hopkins. I appreciate for that. So that's an instant classic in overtime. So we're going to relay that to you as well. I want to get more of that as this action is going in. So this is now, let me see, I can't see it right now because it just stopped. And now we got a couple extra stuff going on, extracurriculars behind Thompson here. Pavelski getting worked over a little bit. Alec Martinez getting worked over as well. I can't see the other Dallas star that's in there right now. So the Flames have one. That means that the Nashville Predators do have 1 point. So that's going to put a little bit of a noose tightening as far as Vegas and Dallas right now. So again, they'll figure that stuff out as it goes along. And Logan Thompson had to come back to him off the kick plate. And then all of a sudden, there was a bunch of fisticuffs there. And I don't see the other Dallas star. I know it was Joe Pavelski. And I know on the other side it was Theodore. Didn't see who else was coming together there. They showed on the Bally Sports side of things. 2:27 left to go in the third period. So Rope Hintz going to the box. And Jack Eichel also going to the box. Offsetting penalties. So Lindholm with the game-winning goal snuck a shot through backup Riddick. Saros was injured late. Not sure how serious. Wow. If that's the case, Cooper, in the sense of you say Saros, you know about him, that's a very heavy workload here for you say Saros throughout the whole year. I don't know if they're going to be able to get that done with David Riddick, for as good as he ever was for the Calgary Flames and all that. I don't think Nashville is going to be in a position that they would want to be 7-game series that you got for all this stuff going to the playoffs now, as opposed to some of these things in baseball where it starts at 5. If you're having David Riddick for 7 games, ugh, I don't know about that for Dallas. If you want to join in on the broadcast side of things, just let me know, Cooper. I can add you in right now when we get a stoppage here. This is Sagan and Chandler Stevenson. Stevenson now gets this one clean. It goes back to McNabb. Stone waiting on the left side. Still holding there. It's a minute 45 on the 4-on-4. And now it's icing against the Vegas Golden Knights. 2:14 left to go in the contest. A minute 47 left to go on the 4-on-4. Usually where you would see the open ice and the action and things like that. But again, if you get tired of hearing me say it, I apologize. But as this is one of those more of a playoff type intensity games where 4-on-4 where you would usually see more open ice in action, you need to see more attention to detail right now between these two teams. You can't make any mistakes. Face-off gets controlled there by the Vegas Golden Knights. So both teams within the last couple possessions in the defensive zone draws have won it. Now we're down to 2 minutes left to go in the third period. Stone gets this now from Pacioretty. Plays it back. Holding off the backhand was Shea Theodore. Tried to get a piece of it. It's stuck in between Luke Glendening. And now Shea Theodore has it now. One of the forwards have to go back and try to get to this thing. Stone now. Holding back to Theodore. Playing to the blue line. Goes to the backhand a couple times. Stopped by Ottinger and held. All right, cool. Let's do it. So hopefully all that stuff goes through. I just sent it now. So it'll be good to be able to talk to you and all of that. I really appreciate it anyway, having you go ahead and get a chance to check things out. I appreciate it, man. This is good implications here for both of us as far as some really good games toward the end of the regular season. So right now, Vegas and Dallas, it's 2-2 with a minute 38 left with a 1:11 left to go in the 4-on-4. This is a Dallas defensive zone draw. Jamie Benn is looking on right now, and he gets it clean against Chandler Stevenson. So John Klingberg now will get this one down. Now Ben holding. It's onside still. Esa Lindell working his way behind the net. He can't find it. And now it goes back to Dallas on the right side boards. Jamie Benn's holding between that blue line. Puck is loose. Tyler Sagan trying to get to this thing. Now it's down to a minute 10 left to go in the third. John Klingberg's going to go behind his own net of Jake Ottinger. So it is down to a minute left to go in the contest. Stolen Vegas. Carlson shot stopped there by Ottinger. And now we have 55 seconds left. 25 seconds left to go. Theodore, couple of moves off the backhand, goes in behind the net, leaves it for Stone, plays it out in front of the goal mouth. It goes toward the left side of Dallas where they're at right now. And now Hintz trying to get this thing out. It's across the red line. Klingberg gets a piece of it, backpack into nobody. One-on-one developing. Stone, wrist shot goes high and wide of Ottinger and up and out of play. So did this freeze, I'm wondering.
John.
Hey. Okay, cool.
This is, listen, first of all, your play-by-play call is fantastic. Some of your goal and save calls, I mean, I know we got this thing recorded. I'm going back and listening to them later because you are on fire tonight, my friend.
Thank you, man. I know when we get a chance to do some of the playoff games, you take the lead for all that stuff. It helps me save my voice and all that too, but we can do whatever. I just want to run some games with you. Have some fun with it, if you don't mind, for the playoff side of it when you get free.
Oh yeah, listen. You said it when I first joined up here. First of all, thanks for letting me join in. And yeah, I'm coming off of truly. I don't throw that phrase around lightly. An instant classic between the Calgary Flames and the Nashville Predators. 5-4 in overtime. The Flames get their winning shot right under the right arm of David Riddick, of course, their teammate not long ago. And huge implications here. You've been on this call all night long. I cannot believe we're looking at 2-2 here. And it's so tight on the shot clock, too. And we got a few seconds left in 4-on-4. I mean, now I'm on the call with you, but I'm just excited to be hearing your call.
I'm glad that we're able to do this and do the game at the same time and watch this. Hopefully we get overtime, man. It'll be fun. I know I'm going to have the full game story and all that when it's all done, like I usually would do. We usually get a couple of games through the week when we can do it, get the game story and the play-by-play and everything else uploaded, but it's nice to have co-casting that I really appreciate. So, 32 seconds left to go in the contest. Face-off won there by Vegas. It is out to Theodore now, still holding. It goes to McNabb, back to Theodore. And now Eichel joining in off the rush as he comes off of the penalty. It goes just to the left of the crossbar of Ottinger. And now it's picked back up by Theodore. It's loose out in front, and Ottinger able to make a big save off a bid for Pacioretty. 13 seconds left.
What, John, what are we seeing here? Ottinger is just standing on his head. I think, wow, you're right. I thought he made a paddle save there, but that was off the outside of the cage, and Vegas is just all over the goal mouth right now. Incredible. Ottinger saw that last shot through traffic. That was impressive.
It's really crazy. Everybody talks about goaltending as far as the postseason, but if you think about Vegas and Dallas, you got two rookies in net right now. If you get into the playoffs, that's a lot of pressure on these two teams right now. But again, we have to get a regulation win result if that's the point. But again, it's going to take 13 seconds for that to happen. So Vegas might get exactly what they need, but they want that extra point right now. But they need to win this offensive zone draw. 13 seconds left to go in the third. Tied at 2.
Huge draw right here.
Jamie Benn gets a piece of it there. Pacioretty able to find it down to 7 seconds. Shot stopped and glove saved by Ottinger through the traffic in Yakinpop. Down to 6.6.
Wow, and Ottinger, again, just cool as you like. Had a nice view of that one. Pacioretty great on the forehand there. So accurate with his shots. And, boy, again, Ottinger answers the bell when called upon.
34 shots on goal for the Golden Knights. It's usually one of those things when you do Golden Knights games, they're always leading the shots on goal advantage, but they just can't find a way to score. And we're going to be going to overtime. So this is exactly what you want in Game 80 of the regular season. So Vegas's hopes as far as getting into the playoffs will not end today. But Dallas has a chance to get a big 2 points when we come back to start the overtime.
Man, oh man, be honest, did you expect this going into this game? I mean, you know how much is on the line for both of these teams, but this is something else. The games we've seen tonight, yeah, they may be the regular season, but playoff hockey has arrived.
Oh yeah, man, I will say I expected, I think as you would too, a close, tight checking game. You don't really want to give up too many breakaways and make a lot of mistakes. Again, I know that sounds cliche, but you think when these teams already have things locked up, you're able to play, slice and dice and wheel and deal. You're not seeing that too much between these two teams. And I think, as broadcasters watching the game, that's what you want. You want attention to detail in games like this. And that's what we're getting right now. And it's good to see.
Oh, it's great to see. And I mean, you make such a great point. I mean, I'm thinking back to the Flames' most recent game against the Golden Knights when Logan Thompson, a name that I've heard, thought about. Of course, he was sitting behind Leonard for most of the year. Leonard, unfortunately, with the season-ending injury. I mean, Thompson has, by and large, been excellent for Vegas. And in a pressure situation over the course of multiple games here to finish
his last 8 games, yes.
I mean, it's been an incredible run, and we'll see. Look, the heat only gets turned up higher. And if Vegas can pull off this extra point, listen, I always defer to you. You are sort of the mad wizard when it comes to knowing all the implications. So, not to put you on the spot, maybe we can get to it as they start overtime here. What do things look like for Vegas now that Nashville's been held to a single point? So obviously they would have preferred a Calgary regulation win. But now they've gained a point, so essentially a wash right now. How badly does Vegas need this extra point?
Vegas needs the extra point so badly. And in the sense of both of these teams, Dallas and Vegas, have a back-to-back tomorrow. How much energy will they have left? Let's get set here for the overtime call. Vegas might have to essentially win out. That might be the case. So Dallas wins this on the overtime draw. The playoff implications have gotten so big today, and it's nice to see an overtime game. Heiskanen tried to play this one to Rope Hintz. He can't do it. It's 3-on-3 on both sides here in the overtime. Chandler Stevenson now holding out the left faceoff dot, trying to center it out in front. Stone has it, took a shot. It goes just toward the left of the boards and bounced off the kick plate and held there by Ottinger. The Stars are 14-5 record in overtime and shootout, and the Golden Knights are 9-6. The 14-5 record is the best in the NHL, so the Stars have played a lot of extra time games, and they've done well with it. So 4:34 left to go in the overtime. They were talking about Jason Robertson, Joe Pavelski, and Rope Hintz on that first line. Again, you're seeing Ben Sagan and Klingberg on the ice right now for Dallas. But that first line has held about over 43% of their production on the season. So it's absolutely nuts. So Ben is going to win this defensive zone draw. Again, both these teams have been very good in their own defensive zone on the draw. Down to 4:25 left to go in the contest. Klingberg, a little bit of miscommunication there with Ben. And Sagan is going to go off to the races, just hoping for a extra pass there. And Vegas going to take their time as we're down to about 4:10 left to go in the overtime. Again, 2-2. So because of this, in overtime, the seasons will not end for either team. They have back-to-backs tomorrow. Outside shot goes just around the boards there from the Vegas Golden Knights, and now it goes back to Logan Thompson, and Jack Eichel will play this behind the goal cage and get things set up there. Eichel still working his way now. Has to go all the way back because Vegas is now offsides there with Alex Pietrangelo, former St. Louis Blues pickup. Eichel now loses it, and it goes wide, and it's going to be a icing against the Vegas Golden Knights. 3:40 left.
Yeah, interesting to see here with, like you said, a minute and 20 gone here in overtime. A little bit of disappointment on the faces of the Vegas Golden Knights, as we can see on our video feed here. It's got to be a little disappointing for Dallas to be winning both of those face-offs, the third one coming up here in overtime,
Yes.
and really having no ozone time. That's tough. I mean, they've been solid in the face-off circle and nothing to show for it, really.
Puck drop now gets loose out in front, picked back up by Vegas off of a nice face-off tie-up. That's what you want. Let's do a 2-on-1 now. Marchessault tries to play this one across, tries to get it back to Marchessault off a give and go. Dallas fans want a penalty. Play is still live. Vegas has puck possession now behind their own net, trying to work their way around this thing. This is Marchessault. He's going to go ahead and get a line change, so it's just two Vegas Golden Knights. Falls down! We got a breakaway coming! Rope hits! Stopped by Thompson! Wow!
Unreal.
That's not what you want, Cooper. Coming right off of the line change, and then as soon as you come off the line change, you blow a tire.
Blows a tire. It's Hintz all alone, and boy, Thompson just cold as ice. That was incredible.
Oh. Well, this is fun, man. This game is really nuts. And as we talked about, like you said, we can go over some of the other playoff implications when this is over here. But both of these teams off a back-to-back. I can't imagine tomorrow either one's going to have much energy, but the stakes are going to be just as large in back-to-back games. Dallas,
Another face-up win.
they get another clean win here, and John Klingberg is going to reset this one. William Karlsson going to give a little chase, but I imagine he's not going to skate too hard. Tyler Seguin, couple of stick handles, leaves it for Klingberg, plays it back to Seguin. Seguin sitting on the third line nowadays, working his way in behind the net, tries to play it out in front to nobody in particular, and now it goes back there to Jamie Benn. Benn gets this catapulted. Karlsson's going to play this back out in front. Try to get picked back up by Vegas, and now it is. Play there from Theodore. Spring pass there for Karlsson. It's a one-on-one. Karlsson trying to elude a check there from Klingberg, and now Jamie Benn will pick this one back up. This is Joe Pa now on the left wing side. Leave it there to Klingberg. Klingberg holding off the backhand side, waiting for some help. Dallas again, they get Vlad Nemestikov off the line change, and Dallas now have to retreat back into their own defensive zone with 2:05 left to go in the overtime. Dallas attacking left to right, Vegas attacking right to left. Dallas 2-on-2. Nice move, sneak all the way in, and the net is loose. Was that Vlad Nemestikov that just ran over to Logan Thompson?
Boy, he barreled into Thompson. I'm hoping Thompson's going to pop up here. It looks like he maybe... Yeah, he looks a little ginger on his knees there in the paint.
Oh, no. because I think Vegas's backup is Laurent Bourgeois, and he's in the same spot where you have rookie goaltenders, and Logan Thompson is being attended to right now. This was Vladimir Mestikov holding off the backhand on the left faceoff dot. Again, I don't think this was any of the things of ill intent. You're trying to just make a play, and Nemestikov and Thompson didn't have anywhere to go.
Yeah, Nemestikov doing a nice job getting around Stevenson there, which is he was coming in with essentially full speed, couldn't hold either edge. You see both edges fly out. Looks like his right skate goes first, and then he goes right into Thompson's thighs and knee area. So I'm hoping that there's just no damage. Thompson up and skating out. Yep, obviously the official's giving Thompson some time here to breathe and gather himself. Exactly 2 minutes to go here in overtime. 2-2 the score. 34 shots for Vegas, 29 for Dallas. And yet another face-off coming up to the right of Logan Thompson.
So Dallas cannot win this one this time. Vegas gets another defensive zone draw. And as you talk about, there's been a lot of those in the overtime where the defensive zone team has got the majority of the puck possession. You could be headed toward a shootout. A good outlet pass gets just eluded there. Jake Ottinger comes out of the goal crease, and Jason Robertson has the 2 goals for Dallas Stars. Will play this one off the kick plate now as Miro Heiskanen hints. Robertson looking for a hat trick, and it goes just wide of the right post. And now it goes back to Vegas. It was open-ended action there for a moment. Theodore holding, and now offsides, way offsides at that, with 1:23 left to go in the overtime. Shot advantage is 34-29 for Vegas, but the score is 2-2.
Nice stick handling by Stone right there. Got a little unlucky as who was that with him on the ice there? Was it Stevenson?
Yes.
Yeah, Stevenson had a little difficulty. Puck gets caught in his skates, and Stone was about 5 strides offside.
This is Tyler Seguin now. He gets this one to Klingberg off the faceoff draw in the neutral zone. We're down to 1:15 left to go in the overtime. Seguin, clean entry off the backhand. It's 3-on-1, and almost gets intercepted and falls right back to Seguin. Seguin on this thing now, and Klingberg has it toward the blue line, and he will elect to skate this back out. Now this is Dallas with the puck. This is still Seguin holding off the toe drag, gets it back in. Nice move to get around Pietrangelo. Holds up the backhand, needs some help though. Here comes Klingberg toward the left face-off dot. Now down to 40 seconds left to go in the contest. It's stuck on the right side boards. Dallas, Seguin still with puck possession. Got to be tired here on that side of things. And now Ben will loft this one off the kick plate to Klingberg. Left face-off dot now. Klingberg gets hit hard. And a couple of line changes here for Dallas. This is Jopa now, trying to get in the zone. Nice drop pass there. Tries to get a bounce out in front. Pavelski, it's loose, and Thompson gets the glove save and holds. 19.6.
Jopa right on the doorstep. What a great pass from the point there. He was in perfect position, stick blade on the ice. And Thompson, again, how many times can I say he answers the call? He just continues to do it.
And my goodness, man, you talk about Joe Pavelski, too. 36 years old on the first line, still having the offensive zone point production of like about 85 points in the season. I mean, that's crazy.
It's the Joes. He and Jumbo Joe. They're ageless, man. They just keep doing it.
Another defensive zone draw here for Vegas. And again, the defensive zone team wins this one. It's a 2-on-2. Mark Stone holding, looking for the wrist shot, back pass. This is Theodore looking for the cross pass, and now we're down to 5 seconds. Shootout could be looming. Stevenson loose out in front, down to 2, down to 1. We're headed to a shootout here, Cooper. Tied at 2-2.
Wow is all I can say. It's call me basic, call me what you will. The fact that this is going to a shootout is poetic. I mean, after a game like this, it's a little difficult that it comes down to the skills contest, as the players like to say, but these teams have both certainly earned the point that they've picked up tonight. And boy, as we see some of these replays, both goalies, incredible performances, and we'll see who can make one last stand, as at that point is up for grabs here between Dallas and Vegas.
Hey man, I appreciate you jumping on here again to be able to do this. It's This is nuts. I mean, we've seen a couple really good games, again, like you said, between Calgary, Nashville. Now you got this on the other end of it. So anyone that says the end of these regular season games don't matter, they definitely matter in the western side of the conference. It makes me wonder toward the end of it, as the playoffs are going to start next week. I wonder who's going to be left in the bloodbath of the Eastern Conference part of it, because all that's kind of decided, but all these teams are going to beat up on each other. But in the West, I think it's Colorado, it's Calgary, and then maybe every other team has a chance to do something here. So it's going to be wide open, but we still have one more spot available here, and we'll see whether or not Dallas or Vegas can end up finding it within 2 games left after this.
Yeah, so exciting. I mean, in this Western Conference play makes the gap between the haves and the have-nots in the East look like the Grand Canyon. I mean, this is just inches, if that, between these teams. So much talent. Looks like who's going to be up here first?
Jason Robertson.
Stevenson is out for Vegas, but Dallas will be shooting first.
So both Stars goals by the youngster Jason Robertson, absolutely spectacular. One in the second. He's the first one on the shootout, being opposed there by Jake Thompson. Taking this one slowly toward the left face-off dot. Couple of stick handles, goes off the backhand, and Thompson met him the whole way. Nothing to shoot at.
Great job. Thompson well out of the crease there. Great position. He gets so low and then just closes down that door between the right pad and the bicep. And now it looks like we're going to have Eichel.
Jack Eichel, former Buffalo Sabre, is making about $10 million this year. This is a big time for a goal here for the Vegas Golden Knights. Works his way wide toward the left side, and he gets stopped there by Ottinger. He tried to work his way into the slot, and Ottinger had none of it.
Interesting choice, going left to right, gets into the slot, and tries to go blocker side. Ottinger makes it look easy.
Tyler Seguin, he last won a cup with the Boston Bruins. He's going straight down the ice here with speed. Couple of stick handles, slows down and stopped by the left pad of Thompson. That was probably the more definitive of looks that we've had right now between the 3 shooters. Still stopped though.
I appreciate that right-handed shot, barreling straight down the ice right between the face-off circles. But again, I love Thompson's positioning. He flares out that right leg, makes the save.
Shea Theodore now. Opposed to Ottinger. A couple backhand, forehand slowly and casually gloved there by Ottinger. Made it look easy. Both these goaltenders right now are on their P's and Q's. They're 2 for 2.
Absolutely locked in. Theodore gives him a little shoulder fake, but doesn't work. I love it. Ottinger stays in his net, stays in his crease, keeps that glove out.
Joe Pavelski skating in with speed, holding off the wrist shot and stopped between the 5-hole of Thompson.
Interesting tactic there, sort of similar tactics back-to-back from Dallas. Not sure if that was intentional. Pavelski looking to go 5-hole there, but a nice stick save.
So Vegas, they could end it right now and get a big 2 points. Otherwise, we're going to extras here. This is Nicholas Waugh. Backhand, forehand, holding slowly, stopped by Ottinger.
Oh, what more can you say, John? This is outstanding. We're seeing a clinic. The patience from Ottinger right there. Loses his stick in the process, flaring out that blocker. But what a stop.
He does not look like a 23-year-old to me.
Not at all. Here comes Hintz.
Rope Hintz now, taking a long stride. Now he's not going to go straight down. He's working toward the left. Backhand, forehand, and stopped by Logan Thompson.
I can appreciate more of a basic approach here from the Dallas shooters. It looks like they're just trying to get solid shots off. Some nice velocity on that wrister right there from Hintz. But again, Thompson has shown he's not going to give up those opportunities.
Chandler Stevenson now on the first line here for Vegas. Goes wide left. Holding up the forehand, and it goes just toward the left. Did that even hit Ottinger is the question. No goal.
Dare I say, just too easy. I mean, at this point, Ottinger just closing the door 5-hole, that's light work for him.
Yes, I don't think Vegas has done well enough as far as their opportunities as comparison to Dallas. Like you said, maybe a little more basic, but they've scored these, could score these. Foxa now, left side, holding up the forehand. It almost overpowers Thompson, but he falls down and makes the save.
Grace is not a requirement as long as the puck stays out of the net. Thompson ends up on his backside there, but he catches that one on the left bicep. Great stop. No one has scored. We're in round 5.
Jonathan Marchessault, picked up from the Florida Panthers in the expansion draft. He's known for scoring goals. Vegas needs this one right now, or we're still going here. Backhand forehand off the left side of the bar, I believe, as Ottinger thanks his friend here on the post, and no goal.
Ottinger, cool as you like. Look at this. I think he gets a piece of it, maybe. Perhaps not. Might have gone right under the blocker. And oh, yes, Marchessault rings it off the outside of the post.
Vladislav Nemestikov, former Red Wing, and I can say that. Backhand, forehand, couple series of moves. Nice stop there by Thompson. That was probably the best move that Dallas has made. Good definitive speed all the way in off backhand, forehand, and nice look there by Thompson. Make the save with the left pad.
Yep, buttery hands right there. Thompson really had to work for that one.
Is this Evgeny Dadonov? This would be funny. Evgeny Dadonov now, left to right. Backhand, forehand, series of times, tries to roof it. He can't do it. Ottinger makes the save.
Going to round 7 of the shootout, ladies and gentlemen. No one has scored.
Evgeny Dadonov, they tried to get rid of him a couple times, but he was back. He couldn't get the goal.
He's back.
Miro Heiskanen now. This is one of the top players here for Dallas. This defender definitely has a nice set of mitts. Backhand, forehand, he roofs and scores! Miro Heiskanen gives Dallas the lead in the shootout. Vegas must score, or they're only getting 1 point out of this.
Excellent call, John. It's like you predicted it. You talked about his hands, and those are what did the work. He lifts up that right
What a great
foot.
move.
Great shot fake, and puts it beyond Thompson on the backhand. Beautiful, beautiful move.
Everybody's standing here at American Airlines Center. Dallas can get a big 2 points here. This is Carlson. Stop by Ottinger. Dallas wins. And I believe this is going to put them in the playoffs. I know they said regulation, but I believe this is going to be the death sentence here for Vegas. Big point that they dropped here as Dallas gets the 3-2 win in the shootout, and everybody on the Vegas side is crowding Logan Thompson. And, man, I will say this, between both sides, I do feel for both of these goaltenders. That was a great goal there by Heiskanen. Good stops there by Ottinger, but, man, Vegas played a hell of a game there, but it was not to be, that's for sure.
Wow, John, what a call. Your play-by-play, excellent. I know you're going to go through some more of these playoff implications as the Dallas Stars rightfully raise their sticks to their crowd. What a game in Dallas. Logan Thompson, an incredible performance. He is barely able to leave his crease right now. I mean, he's being consoled by every one of his teammates. Just an unbelievable individual effort. Now we see here on the video feed we have Dallas and Nashville tied with 95 points. Vegas trailing with 91. Dallas with, again, the rightful celebration. What a game. What performances. And that goal to win it, just a beauty.
This is going to essentially, as you said, from looking at it now, Dallas would essentially have to fall apart in their next 2 games. They're going to be playing the Arizona Coyotes tomorrow. In Vegas now, with at this point, they're going to have to get 2 wins in regulation to be able to just turn things around. And I will say this before we close everything out. I talked about it a little bit in the opening. The other night, Vegas lost in overtime to the Sharks. And the last week, they lost to the New Jersey Devils, 2 teams that are not going to be in the playoffs by a long shot. And there's just some of those games as you come down the stretch, you cannot lose those. And Vegas has been in a position because of that where they had to play for pretty much all the marbles tonight. They played a much better game against Dallas, but you can't drop those games against teams that are not anywhere close to playoff positioning.
Yeah, you make an excellent point, and it reminds me of I think I referenced it earlier when I joined in with you. There was a time when Vegas showed what they can be. They took down the Calgary Flames, scoring 6 goals against the Pacific Division winners, and made it look easy. And the difficult thing to see for Vegas's fan base has got to be the inconsistency. The Sharks were a thorn in the side of the Flames all year. They had 4 games. 4 contests, and the Flames only took 1 of those games, and I believe they only won that game by a goal or 2, maybe. So everyone was close. The Sharks do have some talent. Timo Meyer's there. They have the ability to pressure good squads, but when you give up a game like that, shows the weakness, and I'm not sure if that was in the back of their minds still, if there was any doubt. They certainly played with a lot of confidence and heart tonight, but an inability to score in, I believe it was 8 rounds of a shootout with your playoff life on the line. Someone's got to come through there, and it just wasn't to be tonight. Dallas took it.
I appreciate you coming on here. I want to ask you, while I got you on off the record here, I went through some of these names as far as the Golden Knights. Again, you follow some. We've all kind of seen some of that stuff being the darlings of the expansion draft and all that, whether it was right or wrong. But some of the other names going in there from, losing in the Stanley Cup final to the Capitals in the first year. But when I talked about this, I mentioned this, and I want to get your thoughts. So they were always looking for the big move. They locked up Mark Stone, Alex Pietrangelo, Max Pacioretty, Jack Eichel, William Karlsson, Shea Theodore, Leonard, Dadonov, Marchessault. All these guys are making what, $7 to $10 million? So again, we go to the point where, man, Vegas probably mortgaged some of their future. They don't have Cody Glass and Nick Suzuki. They're probably missing them. They don't have David Perron, James Neal, Marc-Andre Fleury, Nate Schmidt, Alex Tuch. Was that really worth, trying to get back into the postseason, get rid of all those guys? Wouldn't you let the misfits from year one get another run at it? I'm surprised.
Yeah, I agree. And you named all the names. I think now, of course, this is a hindsight comment. It's very easy to make because of the injury, but the situation with Robin Leonard is going to make life very difficult for Vegas. The seriousness of the injury, obviously, he has to have a procedure to correct. Now, maybe I did read about his injury. I think it's a knee or a hip, but either way, doesn't bode well for him. Certainly not career-ending. I'm sure he'll be fine. But when you're paying so much to so many forwards, defensemen, and then in increase, you have a young goaltender who is learning on the job right now, trial by fire. We literally watched it just a few minutes ago, and what a performance. Again, it can't be overstated. There's clearly enough talent there for him to be a 1A goaltender, but is he really ready right now to step in? If they were to let Leonard go, who are they bringing in at that point? It makes the Marc-Andre Fleury choices look even more questionable.
That shocked me. Mm-hmm.
Right, and that's just focused on goaltending. I mean, we haven't talked about, and you said it when he picked up the puck for his shootout attempt. Eichel is at that 10 million mark, and so certainly he'll remain on the team. You have to save face, I think. With him, you don't ship him out. But the Dadonovs of the world, I mean, I would imagine, especially after everything that's happened, he's probably a goner here, regardless of whether or not Vegas sneaks in. And the Stone contract, you're right. The future was mortgaged. I think that they had all the confidence in the world that they would make certainly not just a playoff appearance, but another run this year. Maybe with some thought in the back of their minds that this might be the last of this quote-unquote opening era of their franchise.
Yeah, I can get that.
Things have slid off the rails here a little more quickly than anyone could have imagined.
Yeah, I would say that. I just wanted to close with that and get your thoughts while I had you on here. So, hey man, I appreciate, and I do want to say one other thing because I know you can hear it and all that, but get at me on Instagram or whenever next week if you want to do some playoff stuff. Let's get something together. If we get some time, I'll hop on whatever game you want to do. So, no big deal.
That sounds great, man. Yeah, I'll either send you a message or get back to you via email. And again, thanks for having me. It's fun to do. It's fun to do these. It's fun to hear your play-by-play. Really, unfortunately, I mean, it's taken me all season to hear game 80, and now I get to hear the play-by-play. And you know what you're doing, my friend. So keep up the good work, and we'll join forces again as we head into the playoffs. This was a fun one. I really appreciate it.
Hey, man, I really appreciate it too. Thank you so much.
All right, John. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, see you.
All right.
close this out.